I just want to get the... What you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is what Hailebury is chasing this afternoon. A B section flag. Welcome now to Elsternwick Park for the 1995 B section grand final. Old Hailebury to take on Mazenod. And the weather has really turned it on for us today. The forecasters were predicting a fine day, top temperature of about 21, but once again they've got it completely wrong and it is pissing down here at the moment. Anyway, that's probably going to maybe affect Old Hailebury a little, but the conditions will be the same for both sides and we hope that Hailebury will be able to come through. Anyway, as we wander now through the crowd, we'll just go and have a chat to a few people and see what they think about today's game. And we'll start off, former premiership player, Coxie.
How you going? What are you going to ask me?
Coxie, we want to know a prediction.
In the wet, I reckon we'll win probably by 4 goals.
Probably by 4 goals. Now, rumour has it you had a few dollars on the boys last evening with a certain man you work with, and we just want to know if there's any truth to this.
Which person's that?
And just wipe that bit of sauce off your lip there, mate. Thanks a lot. Leaky and Flocky, gentlemen, a prediction.
I think you have to say by 4 or 5 goals.
Seems to be the status quo here at the moment, at the just in front of the magnificent amateur headquarters rooms. Hailebury by 4 goals. Anyway, we'll venture a little further afield. And one of the amateur committee men, Stink.
Yes, boys, we're looking forward to a big one today. I've got no doubts that this will be the cream on the cake.
You just think, though, that amateur football will be the winner today?
No, I'm sure that amateur football was the winner when Hailebury went to A grade 2 weeks ago.
Very true. Now, we've just lost a man. Souther. Now, you've spent a lot of time on the other side of the camera, but we've got you on the right side of it for once. Now, a lot of people have been asking about that hat. Are you wearing it on a dare?
No, this is a hat that I normally wear on big days.
And why?
Today might be one of those big days. And, even if you've got a face for radio, you've still got to have your hat on.
You do just get the feeling that it is going to be a big day. One of the... now, Souther, something more?
Yes, I think it is going to be a big day, and I think if they play anything like they played 2 weeks ago, I don't think it'll matter whether it's raining or shine, but if they apply themselves, they'll be right as rain.
You do get the feeling we saw the best of Mazenod last week, and I just feel the Bloods had their measure then. We had their measure in round 6. Now in the slop heap, we can't take that form going into in any contention at all. When Mazenod beat us by 3 goals out in the bog heap at McKinnon, and I must say I agree with you, and I think it should be the Bloods easy.
It should. I don't think it'll be easy, but they certainly had their measure last time, and I think they'll have their measure again.
As we move over now, we've got one of the co-vice presidents of the club, JC. You'd certainly have a few dollars invested today, wouldn't you?
No, as a matter of fact, I haven't got any money on the game because it's only amateur football, and I don't believe in betting on amateur sport. So.
And who said this man couldn't act?
But no, truly, it's only a game and it's amateur football, so I'm just here to enjoy the day and watch Hailebury have a resounding win in another premiership.
Great words from the great man. Now, the smallest Connell of them all. We go here. He's showing his mixed allegiances. He's got the Richmond beanie, the DC mini jumper. We're gonna ask the young man what prediction. Once again. No. Treat it like an ice cream.
1, 2, 3, go.
Well, a very nervous young Lockie there. He's not too keen on the whole microphone thing, and anyway, unlike most Connells who you just can't get them away from the thing, but I'm sure he'll learn that sooner or later. And having set in the high country, and where have you parked your horse?
Mate, somewhere out the back.
Somewhere out the back. And what about your hat, mate? You know, you've got the rest of the gear on. You've got the oil skins. You've got the dry as a bone. Magnificent. But where's your hat?
I don't know.
Well, the man parked his horse out the front. Doesn't know where his hat is. That's it. He's out. He's lost. Move over now. One of the most fashion-conscious members of the Hailebury Football Club. Once again, he's donned the scarf in deference to the weather today. Vegas, Nevada.
How are you?
Not too bad. How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
Obviously a little nervous, and as I am, being my first time on Street Talk, but we thought we'd just actually excuse me for a moment. Sean O'Grady, weren't you supposed to be on a flight last night to go out and have your test out as power forward for the Bulls?
No. Indiana, mate.
Indiana. I am sorry. Now we know you were stiff to miss the side today. Were you a little devastated at selection on Thursday night? Was it a tough pill to swallow?
Oh yeah, very, very tough.
What happened to your lip there, mate? Did you cop a little bit of a slice down there?
Against Mazenod.
Did you really? So you really feel you, on a personal note, owe these blokes?
Oh, big time.
Now, will we see you with a swinging forearm over the fence or something? You know, just looking to take out the odd player?
Oh, could do. It's a possibility.
Well, Sean O'Grady, he is a chained animal, this boy. Once we let him loose, there's going to be nothing like it. Now we move over here. One of the Derek Kickett of the old Hailebury side, the unluckiest man not to be out there today. Travis, marvellous to see you once again. Now, you know, there's really, we can't put into words the way we feel for you, but Trav, you know, we just hope the boys can bring it home for you, and we know you'll be part of the celebration, and we just hope you can stay with the club in future years to come as many more come along. Now, Trav, your feelings today, the weather, is it going to affect old Hailebury's chances?
No chance. We'll do it easy. Wet or dry. And
Can we
if
have...
the boys win and they buy me a beer after the game for dropping me, I'll be happy.
Well, I've heard that you might be dropping the coach a bit later on this evening if they win.
No, as long as he keeps bringing me the beers, I'll be happy.
Well, you've heard it here. We've got it on tape. Neville Taylor, this boy is not reaching for his wallet over the next couple of days. You owe him. Now, we have another Baxter here.
Gentlemen.
Fresh back from his 1970s tour through porno films.
Thank you. I forgot about that, actually.
And really displaying the magenta and black a treat with the old Hailebury umbrella. Actually, the Hailebury College umbrella.
I've just actually flogged this off Adam Forsyth. He's looking a bit wet over there. Oh no, he's found himself another umbrella.
He's done well. There he is. Force. We'll have a quick word.
Cheers, how you going?
Not too bad, mate. Now, you know, the tragedy, the operation, the surgeon was going overseas on a holiday or something, or he had to buy a new boat or something like that.
Yeah,
it took you out of the race for the finals. What were your feelings on that?
They got a pretty good side in today, and I think they'll do it pretty easily, so I don't know if I would have got a game.
Well, you know, I mean, on a personal note, your season as a whole, how have you viewed it?
The club's gone pretty well, but personally, a bit disappointing. But if they win today, all's forgotten.
And we're certain to see you back in the magenta and black next year?
Yeah, hopefully have a good recovery over summer, do a few weights and get pretty fit on a big season next year.
Tremendous. Adam Forsyth, one of the up-and-coming members of the old Hailebury Football Club. Now, as we move over here with the Ox, a man I actually played in a premiership side with when I was just a young whippersnapper. And now here I am stuffing a microphone into your face. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. It's going to be a big day.
It's going to be a huge day. Huge. Spelled H-O-O-G-E.
Big B-grade premiership for the Bloods.
Well, not having been involved in one myself, I'm certainly looking forward to it. You know, C was our big year, but it signalled your retirement. Now, how much have you missed the game over the last few years?
A lot. But age catches up with you.
It does. As a matter of fact, there it is, just over Billy's left shoulder and moving quickly. Now we move over here. Bernie Lads, the most experienced member of the current old Hailebury playing list. Bernie, the 200 mark, it's within reach. Will you go on?
It's a big decision. Yeah, I think so.
You will?
Yes.
You heard it first here. Bernie, if you don't play next year, we've got this tape to look back on. Now you've obviously you were expecting sun today. You've donned the cap to protect the somewhat unprotected regions of your scalp.
Oh, definitely to keep my head warm because as you can see, it's not much there. As you can see, just not much there. So I definitely need the cap to keep my head warm.
Anyway, we've had a chat with a few of the boys now, and I think we'll now cut away as the PA system drowns me out. We'll cut away now to the pre-season. The Bloods, here they come, led out by the skipper Mackenzie. Here they come. Here come the boys. Looking very focused, very determined. Tremendous stuff. Jezza Ray, late inclusion back into the side, and Gary Phillips. I think the boys is coming out to do a light warm-up. And it's just showing their keenness by how early they are out on the ground. And Keith racing out behind them with the banner. And I think we need a few boys out there to unfurl it.
Their reserve side on their performance this year.
Now, Keith, I don't know if you've got this whole banner thing down pat, but you're actually supposed to have it out there before the players run onto the ground.
Well, where are all the banner bearers?
Banner bearers. This is a new Keith term. Obviously, you're trying to work it into the English language. Now, I thought you were responsible for it.
Go over to the Elsternwick and get them out of there.
They're well and truly out of the Elsternwick. Anyway, we can use this. We can probably use this next year now. It's called the banner you have when you don't have a banner, the somewhat Clayton's banner. Now, what we can do, Keith, we can either have the boys run through it now, or we can have them run through it later on this evening.
Probably later on this evening. They'll be all pissed and they'll fall over anyway.
Well, harsh words there from Keith, because I know most of the boys can handle their grog pretty well. Anyway. The somewhat belated banner. We're going to get out on the ground and get a bit of a close-up here and watch the boys as they burst through, full of vigour. Just the reserves presentation going on over there in the background, and once again, Mazenod just getting used to that whole losing feeling. Now this really breaking with tradition now, going with the let's have the boys run through the banner 10 minutes after they've been on the ground. It's a trend we really don't expect to catch on. And I'll just grab young SARS here. No cameras for the girl. Sarah. Now look, you've got to be pretty nervous, the boys running around out there. Can we have just a very, very quick prediction?
Oh, Haileyburi, for sure.
No, we're not. We know who's going to win, but we want a points prediction.
30. 30 points.
30 points. Can you just get round in front of the cat? Come on.
Can you just take it?
Can we dub that bit out later, is the request. So here it is, the magnificent banner. Let's get around and have a bit of a look at it. The magnificent magenta and black colours, the gold writing. And we'll just get it up and have a bit of a look at it. Bloods swoop to conquer, strive for glory. Strong words those, and hopefully what the boys will do today. Anyway, now we're out here, we may as well have a bit of a ground report. Certainly very firm underfoot, a little greasy though. The early rain here today, looking up into a westerly direction from whence the weather has been coming. It looks a little grim, but hopefully we've seen the worst of the rain. And although the conditions will be greasy, it won't be too much to the detriment of old Haileyburi. We have a gentleman over here, Mr. Rob Varney, a strong supporter of the Mazenod Football Club. Now, Rob, your boys, they've had their injury problems. With the twos getting beaten today, there's a lot of pressure on the seniors now.
Yeah, we had a full list to choose from, though, so there's no excuses.
They've had the full list to choose from, so there are no excuses.
A couple of tough games they've played in the last 2 weeks. Whether they'll show, tell tales in the last quarter, who knows, but these conditions, I think, will suit us down to the ground.
And Hanley, his hamstring, he clutched at it in the last quarter last week.
No, just come off for a precautionary rest.
You weren't trying to play funny buggers there with him. It wasn't a coach's orders just to grab at the hamstring and maybe make us.
Same with Belly and Moose and the ruck. They all just rested those guys just for this week. So it's a big game, and may the better team win.
Yes, you too, Rob. Good on you. So we've heard the inside word on the Mazenod boys. We'll just wander over here to where the action's going to start, the centre wicket area. It looks a little chopped up by it's had 2 games on it already today, and certainly not the most solid surface. But as we wander over here, we'll dig the key out and just see. Oh, now.
Okay, Billy Baxter here. Just donned the official apparatus, and it really is a very, very wet day, as you can see. I need the windscreen wipers on my glasses. We're out here in the middle of the ground. The boys are over to our left, and we are just going to do the pitch report at this stage. If we wander over to the centre here, Tim, you can see it's very gluggy underfoot. In fact, I've got 14 tonne of mud on my feet already. And if I just get out the McKinnon Sports Medicine key ring, the old Haileyburi badge here, and we just pop the key in, you'll see that we've lost the keys, and hang on, we've got them back out, and that mud will stay there forever. We are struggling out here with the wind. There's not much wind up on the flags. I've had a look at those. Here comes the umpires, Tim, over your right shoulder. If you just want to pan across there, we've got umpire Jackson and umpire Bell. A couple of very experienced umpires. We couldn't, unfortunately, get Wayne and Anthony Damon again after last week's performance. It was magnificent stuff. So, Belly and Jacko, good luck to the boys. Some very experienced goal umpires also. Now, if we come back here, the wind is going in the direction that I am facing. I reckon it's only about a 2-goal breeze, Tim, maybe 3. Very slippery underfoot, very gluggy in the middle here. But I still think that there'll be a lot of skills. You can see some of the kids kicking the footy out here on the ground, and they're taking it in their hands, and the twos didn't seem to be too deterred by the conditions. I really do think the skill level will be very good today, but obviously it's going to be first in for the ball in the slippery conditions. And we'll be back in a moment when we get this banner up and going. Now, not umpiring in this game today. Any reason for that? I can't think of any.
Billy, obviously I've kicked on from the performance a fortnight ago and just had the luck of doing the C grade last week. Good luck today.
Thank you, mate. Prediction?
It could be a late night at Haileyburi, I reckon.
Thank you very much. And you can see plenty of help out here today, and let's just focus in on the team banner. Gabe Connell. Because everyone has been through that. And Tim, magnificent day out here for the boys.
It is tremendous, and just losing my focus there. I thought the lens was about to crack for a moment, but now we're back in on Gabe, and we pan round, and just great to see the tremendous support there is around the club.
There's plenty of Warnocks out there today. The boys are wandering over. We should come over this side a little bit, Tim. You can see the boys just doing a very slow lap. They've been out here for 10 minutes now warming up. You can see officiating today is Darren Cotton, one chief water runner, with his able assistant Wardy Caspers, and Adam Kirkwood-Scott. We've also got the good gladiator, Grant Rowlands. I actually thought there was only 3 allowed out, Tim, but obviously 4 today.
Well, I think Old Haileyburi have just flaunted the rules today. I think with Phil Stevo in there, we can do pretty much whatever we want. They screwed us with the rooms. They put us in that pokey little front room when we really should have had the spacious surrounds of the rear rooms. But anyway, that's the Old Haileyburi way.
And as they say, Old Haileyburi is amateur football. And here comes the banner. It's torn, it's ripped already, it's very wet, it's soaking. I don't think it'll get up, Tim, for mine.
Well, I think this thing's got about as much chance as certain parts of the Old Haileyburi anatomy, and after about 4 million beers over the next couple of days.
Oh, the banner is struggling, but it's up! Here it is, it's up, and the crowd goes wild. They want to run through it in a real hurry. They'd want to run through this in a real hurry, because I think it's going to go. Here comes the Blooders. Through the banner. We've got Neville, the coach's wife, waving her little floggers there. And through they go. Bobby Pletcher first through. The big fella. Oh, it's fantastic banner. Really is, 10 hours of hard work for 3 seconds.
You just wonder if it's all worth it. But, hey, they enjoyed making it. The boys certainly enjoyed running through it.
And we've got Grant Rowlands over here. Tim, we just interviewed Chief Waterboy. What do you think today, Grant? What do you think of the conditions, firstly?
Well, it's going to make it easy for the water boys because no one's going to be thirsty, are they? So, actually playing footy, I think it's going to suit our boys because we're going to be tough, hard at the ball, first in on the bottom of the pitch.
Now, you were in the rooms before the game, yes, no? Yes. And what was the crux of Neville's discussion before the game with the boys?
Basically just to be hard, body on the line, do it for your teammates and do it for yourself. Big day, it doesn't happen too often.
Exactly right. Premierships, some people go through all their lives without winning one, and that's why they are very, very special when you do win one.
Yeah, we're going to have to move when these guys
So, 1995 B grade Premiership Grand Final about to commence. Old Haileyburi will be kicking to the right of screen, to the golf club end, to the scoreboard end. Just a light drizzle falling. Not a lot of wind, anything. I believe in the reserves game, Billy, it was favouring the scoreboard end.
The scoring did seem to come that way, but the wind is blowing to left of screen. Okay, here's the bounce. It's the B-grade grand final. Orton up in the ruck against O'Hara. The big fella gets the knock. He was clean away. Phillips charges through on the left. Mark Seckel beaten in the race for the ball. Oh, Moray dishes one off to Chilcott. And JD with a good handball wide to Armstrong, who's off. Barker tackles him well. LePage will go into the open goal and misses to the left side, and it bounces out of bounds.
Ferocious opening there, and the Bloods with the early attack, Bill, and that's what they really wanted. The centre square, The first bounce going to Orts, and I think that was crucial for his confidence, showing that he can beat O'Hara. So boundary throw in, forward pocket. It goes up. Disco to do the ruck work. Takes clean possession. Ball now. Bit of a scramble in there. It's kicked wide. JD throws the body in. Wally picks up. Loses possession now. And the ball is bundled over the boundary line in the forward pocket.
Magnificent work by Walden. He really put his body on the line on that occasion. And in the commentary box today, Billy Baxter, Tim Chegwin, Chris Reedy and Blair Main with some special comments. So Seckle goes over the top again, but Verbeek punches towards the boundary. And it's Morgan who picks the ball up and gets it over his shoulder. Walden sliding across the ground, knocks it back to his mate Mackenzie, who gets on the left and kicks it inboard. And Burns breaks through, and good tackle by Burns. And Moray just charges through, went without it unfortunately. Now Moray with a quick tackle on Fisher. And the race for the ball, it's Phillips against Barker, and Phillips just out a bit more toe there on that occasion. He goes back onto his favoured right foot. He hasn't got it. Fisher over the top of him, and Ralph Smith comes through with a very heavy hip and shoulder. And umpire Marty Jackson says, we'll throw it in. Thank you very much.
I think we've seen there probably what will be the pattern of play for the day. The ball very difficult to handle in these conditions. Very slippery, very greasy. Orts the big knock out the back. LePage diving in over the top. Gets a little clearing handball. Orts loses possession. Wappy tries to apply the tackle. Ralph Smith, strong work again, and the ball finishes over the boundary. Certainly the Bloods look to have started with a higher level of intensity, Billy.
They certainly have, and okay, the heads are in the way, but Orton works his way to the front. O'Hara gets a knock. Pletcher will get the quick handball over to Connell. Now he fumbles it. The ball's quite slippery. Jeremy Ray comes burning through. He gets it wide to Armstrong. Some solid shepherding in the background. Armstrong on the right cops a very heavy knock from Fisher. And it's out of bounds. Verbeek knocks it over. Armstrong gets up. He's fine. Fisher looks the one that copped the heavy knock there. Hicks comes out and he just pats Orton on the bum. So it'll be Mark Seckle taking the ruck work on the forward line. Some of the key matchup. Mickey Constable's picked up Hanley, who's got the hamstring problem from last week. Mark Seckle clean possession. Mackenzie dummies the handball. Phillips has got Wayne Phillips on. No, instead he goes wide to Walden, who works with strength. He now gets the handball up and out wide. LePage off the ground is fantastic and through for 1 point. Unlucky there on that occasion, but it was great work by Walden and Moray and LePage off the ground.
Wally looked desperately caught out of position then. A great effort to almost hold that mark. So the ball to be driven back into play now. It's a pretty ordinary kick out from fullback, but Murray makes it look better. Drops the mark, loses possession. Blood's in there in numbers. The ball's cleared wide by Mazenod. Murray now with the run of the ball. Picks up. Will look to bring it round the flank. He's got some space now. A good shepherd lay there. Brings it inboard. Dimitir to contest. It goes to the back. Connell loses his footing. And it's Poland running onto it. Kicks it into the forward line. Murray, sorry. And Seckles sees it safely out of play.
So Mazenod go forward for the first time. Connell just slipping over there. I'm not quite sure if he's got the moulders on of the long stops. So the boundary throw in. Orton works his way to the front against Noble. Orton wins the knock. Jeremy Ray's down there. Connell keeps his feet, and Connell gets a quick torp away to Phillips, and he'll take the mark on his own. He's got Mackenzie inside. He ignores him. He's got Wappy on the outside, and he goes that way now. Armstrong kicks it along the boundary. It slides out of bounds. A quick move. That Constable lays a good tackle on Murray, but that's not a bad shot for goal, and Jeremy Ray should knock it through for a point, and that's what he's going to do. Very well done by Jezza. So Darren Seckle to kick the ball back into play. He had Connell short. He ignores him. He's now seen Phillips long, and that's the direction he goes, straight up the middle of the ground. Phillips will fly high and takes nearly a good grab. Hanley gets a quick kick over to Green, who's on his own. And he just about played on then. Mackenzie, if he'd waited for one more second, could have nailed him. So umpire Bell says no. He'll be kicking from 45 metres out. So Green, who kicked the first goal in the second semi, has a chance to kick the first goal in the grand final. We're 5 minutes and 6 seconds into the grand final. So Dimitir playing on Noble. Jeremy Ray picking up Marshall Green with a big wobbly kick. He's gone wide, and Murray on his own. And Connell just gives him a quick one to go on with, and unlucky not to give away the 25 metres. So Belly says time on. And Dave Murray has got the ball. He's about 15 metres out on a very tough angle. Now Barker's just sneaking backwards slightly, away from Constable, and he's on his own. But Murray's going to have a shot. Connell jumping up and down on the mark. He's going to run straight at him in a minute. He comes around. That's a beautiful kick for goal. And Murray's kicked the first for Mazenod. at the 5-minute 50 mark. So Mazenod 1 goal, 1-7. Hailebury 1 point. And a wobbly kick from Green, and Murray just hanging out and got the lucky kick and then just came round nice and kicked a nice goal.
Yeah, just to sort of start, Mazenod probably one of them. I think they needed to get the first one on the board today just to give themselves a little bit of confidence. They've certainly had their problems against the Bloods this year, but Hailebury will look to answer immediately. So we look at the centre square matchups. It's Morey and Phillips to do the ruck roving and roving work. McKenzie on the defensive side, O'Hara with a big tap. Bursting through is Morey. The handball goes wide, but there's a free kick going to Wayne Phillips. He'll go back now. He has his brother Gary streaming down the flank and goes in that direction. Gary with the sit. Good contest there. Murray in there for Mazenod. The ball spills wide. The doctor tries to put the body in. Ball now comes wide to, it's gone back inboard. And now Barker can possibly get the run of it. And it's Belleville. Pickering brought to ground, but Belleville will take the free kick.
So Belleville to take the free kick now. And he's looking long, and Noble makes the lead, and Connell's going to intercept it. And Connell gets crunched from behind, and they've paid the mark to Connell. And Connell has a very good little quick right-hand snap in there, and that's on. Dimatia comes in from behind, and Dave takes a free kick, and Dimatia not happy with his treatment. And Dave Connell just plays on while there's some willy-nilly punches being thrown in there. And Pletcher comes in. Okay, we're back on the footy. LePage, good handball over the top to Burns. Burns back inside to Moray, was very clever. Moray will run into an open goal here. And the Machiners missed to the right-hand side. Jeez, it was fantastic footy. So Murray in the midst of that fight, and so was Noble and Mark Murray as well. Dimatia, for mine, got a couple of very quick early ones in.
Just showing the speed of his hands there, Macca. Just landed probably 2 or 3 scoring blows. Connell, I thought, landed a little quick short right jab, just on the blind side of the umpire, showing his experience. And now Mazenod looking to clear. Great tackle over there. The ball spills wide now. Picked up. Phillips, handball out. The chip in to, who is that? Walden. Walden will shoot from a similar spot to where Murray's kicked Mazenod's first. And the King fired up for a big day. Billy, I think he'll slot it.
I hope so. I mean, the King's the key today. If he could kick 6 or 7 and lead well, I mean, he really is fired up. I mean, the question is who's going to kick more, Ablett or Walden. Walden sneaks around and kicks it, and the crowd behind like it. And it's a goal to Walden, the first goal to the Bloods. It's 1 goal, 2 Hailebury, 1 goal, 1 Mazenod. That was great play. Wesley Burns was a fantastic tackle on Pickering, and he got it out. Weedy Phillips picked up the crumbs, handballed it off to LePage, and LePage was quickly in short to Walden. LePage's skills are just silky.
His skills have just been a delight to watch all year, both at training, in games. He's just a man. When he has the ball clear, you just know he is going to hit a target. And I think that's the key today. If the Bloods, with the difficult conditions, if they can just manage to use every possession, I think they're going to be very difficult to stop. So the ball up now. Orton against O'Hara, pretty much squared up. McKenzie with the run, can't keep his footing. Ball intercepted by Barker. Ball spills wide. Constable now, balks a tackle, gets the handball out wide to McKenzie, who is clear. He picks up, looks inboard to the leading Disco, loses his footing. The ball runs inside Hailebury's 45. Comes clear. Strong work from Matty Armstrong. It's flipped wide where Hailebury with the numbers. Disco picks up, stabbed at the ball and out of bounds on the full.
He was trying to find Walden down there, was sneaking into the pocket, just slipped off the side of the boot and went out of bounds. But some good strong work in there by Armstrong. Magnificent tackle by Phillips in the centre. So it'll be Bellinger. Walden goes for the late smother. Seckle will come over the top and punch. And so does Phillips. And Moray picks up the crumbs and gets a quick kick away. That was great. Ralph Smith just guts and determination. Burns gets in there, but Green gets a quick kick away on his favourite left. And Constable, there's 4 Hailebury blokes on the one here. And hopefully they can keep it in. But Jeremy Ray and Marshall see it out of bounds. So far in the ruck contests, Orton and O'Hara are pretty much sharing it. Orton seems to be able to get have a bit better of him because the muddy conditions. O'Hara's got a little bit bigger leap. So it comes flicking out there by Pletcher. Phillips gets tackled without the ball. Hanley gets a quick handball over to O'Hara. O'Hara back to Dave Murray. Dave Murray in short. Looking for Allen. Allen misses it. Weedy Phillips picks it off and he goes at Dimatia. He's got LePage short. LePage has got Seckle inside. That's where he goes. There's good running footy going on here. Seckle picks up cleanly on the left and goes in towards JD. And Verbeek gets his hands on the footy first, but Mark Seckle picks up and he'll have a shot from 40 and kicks it out of bounds. And there'll be a throw in front of the mouth guards. Makes sense sign, and funny that JD might be very close to there, Tim.
Certainly is. He's given them away at just at a song at the moment, $55 a pop for all those under-19s who get a copy of this video and are looking for a mouthguard for next season. JD's the man to speak to. So the ball back into play, out just in front of centre half forward. Stacks on the mill, and it will be thrown into the air. Umpire sent him to throw the ball up today, Bill, and I think that's smart.
Well, I don't know how much bounce they'd get. So here goes the throw up. Seckle's fighting with O'Hara. Seckle takes clean possession. Has a shot for goal. Goes wide. Walden leads in the race for the ball with Morgan quick on his hammer. And they see it out of bounds. And umpire Jackson says you can toss that one in front of the club warehouse sign for sports and medical supplies. The only warehouse we know is down in Claremont Avenue. And there goes Bellinger, quick throw, and Burns gets a quick kick away and a good little mark. Hasn't been paid. It was the half volley to Green. LePage tries to pick it off. Walden's in there trying to flick it out, and there'll be another ball up. So it's been quite a quick opening considering the conditions. Very slippery here. So it's a 12-minute mark. Hailebury 1 goal, 2-8 playing. Mazenod 1 goal, 1-7. JD looks for the run of the ball and misses, and Green gets another clearing kick away out towards the big fella Orton. Orton can run inside. He's seen Rel Smith and finds him. That was a clever little kick by Orton. Now Rel Smith's got Weedy Phillips on the inside by himself, and he finds him. He's got Mackenzie off short. Mackenzie was covered pretty quickly. Gary Phillips is leading wide, and that's the direction he's gone, and Moray beats him to the footy, and Moray's taken the ball 50 metres out. It's a big kick from there, so it's very crowded. LePage makes a token little lead, goes back. Moray looking for the drop punt and goes for his thump that kick. He is thumped that. Seckle will come over the top and didn't quite jump at it, and the ball's punched over by Mazenod. So Hailebury 1 goal 3, Mazenod 1 goal 1, and it's the 13-minute mark.
There's Morgan about to bring the ball back into play. I noticed Murray today playing on a forward flank, being picked up by Connell, and Barker lining up on Armstrong. So Mazenod not going with the tag they used in the first match. The ball finds its way over the boundary line wide on Hailebury's forward flank. They've had probably 95% of the play early on. Ball's been down in their forward line, but once again the greasy conditions making scoring very difficult, Bill.
Certainly has, and there's a good knock away from O'Hara. LePage picks it up. He fumbles again. Orton's down there. He's had his hands on the ball a bit. Armstrong didn't have it. Mackenzie now. He's got time. He gives it to Weedy Phillips. Weedy Phillips unusually fumbles. That's how slippery it is. He goes back in towards LePage, who does a 40-point blind turn. He gets it to Armstrong. Armstrong could have played on there and chose not to. He had Phillips on a quick lead. He turned his back on the footy, but now he's got Walden on a good lead. Strong lead. Just goes over the top. Chilcott will go for it. I'm not sure who's down. Morgan's down, Tim, in that crunch when Walden came flying through, and he's holding onto his knee, and he looks like he's in a bit of strife. He's called to the boundary line. The Mazenod trainers come from everywhere, and he's in all sorts of strife, Morgan. He'll be going off shortly. So Seckle up against O'Hara. Seckle wins it back inside. Mackenzie, quick little flick to Seckle. Rel Smith tries to flick it on. Seckle will go off the ground, and Lane leading in the race of the ball. Seckle gets it over the top to LePage. LePage, another dummy and a quick kick, and he only finds O'Hara. So Morgan coming off, disappointing for the young man in the first 14 minutes of a grand final. He goes out wide, O'Hara, and he's found his counterpart Norton, who drops a simple chest mark, and Murray misses it and it goes out of bounds. So on the far wing in front of the Sherrin sign, it's very interesting that we have been using the Ross Faulkners all season. I don't know whether we've gone against the amateurs' wishes in that sort of sponsorship, but O'Hara and Orton. O'Hara wins another one straight down to Pickering. Good little feed. Straight off to Poland. Poland goes up high, and Dimatia will see it over the boundary line. Out of bounds on the full. So Dimatia gets a quick handball across to Connell. Connell's got Jeremy Ray with his hands on his hips. Wasn't looking. Now he goes back inside to Constable. Constable's got 10 metres clear. He goes forward to Ralph Smith. Was a beautiful pass, and Ralphie gets a nice little shove in the back. The umpire didn't see it. Marshall chips clear. Goes straight to Jeremy Ray. Jeremy Ray will play on. Jeremy Ray's got Gary Phillips out one way, and he's got Mark Seckle out the other side. He goes to Mark Seckle. But Pickering intercepts it and takes the mark. Gary Phillips was on his own out in the right-hand side. So Pickering plays on straight away. He gets the handball across to Murray. They combine beautifully, those two. Off to Green. Green's got Noble short. Mickey Constable coming in. He's a fantastic wet weather footballer, Mickey Constable. He gets the left-handed handball off to Jeremy Ray, who's found himself in the right spot a few times. Weedy Phillips goes in short, and he's Rel Smith. He's got Phillips, Mackenzie, and it was good play to kick it over the top by Verbeek. Gary Phillips just knocks it on now to JD. JD's got Mackenzie wide. Mackenzie's got Walden leading backwards. That wasn't a good spot to lead, and he's got Walden caught behind. And Ralph Smith flicks it back in cleverly. He's got Walden onto Mackenzie. Mackenzie can line up for a goal from 35. No, he goes to Phillips, intercepted by Belleville. And it stacks on the mill. Flicked out wide to O'Hara. Good tackle by Mark Seckel and then knocked out of bounds in the end by Belleville.
Pick up there from Walden, spectacular, and just the Bloods so unlucky not to be able to break clear there and kick a goal. So the ball once again ensconced in old Hailebury's forward line. It comes back into play. Disco to do the ruck work. O'Hara gets the front position. Ralph Smith will see the ball over the boundary. Manages to keep it in. No, he doesn't. And Wayne Harms-like effort there from Ralph Smith to keep that ball in play, Bill.
Yes, LR 1979. Here comes the boundary throw in. Mark Seckel's got the front position this time. It's a shorter boundary throw and he tries to flick it back to Mackenzie. Mackenzie had Burns running wide. He tries to find him now. Moray caught behind with Murray. Moray clever. Went without it. Weed Phillips is in there pushing it clear. JD's going to dive on it now and it'll be a ball up. The good doctor just forced his way down on the ball now. Hailebury really need to kick a goal at this stage. So umpire Jackson throws the ball up. Mark Seckel works his way to the front again and tries to steal that out of the ruck. Good tackle. Now Burns is clear. He's got a couple of metres here. He tries to flick it back inside. That is a magnificent shot at goal. Just across the face of goal. And Chilcott takes a mark and he's off. He'll have a touch on the ground. He's got Hanley inside in the middle, but now Mickey Constable picks him up. He chooses to go to the handball over the top to Verbeek. Verbeek has got Murray on a lead with Connell in front, and Connell just fumbles the mark, trying to take it in his hands, tried to do the right thing. Murray picks the ball up. He's got Noble in short with Marshall and Jeremy Ray. Jeremy Ray lets it go over his head. Bobby Pletcher gets a quick kick away back out in the Connell direction with Murray. Murray flies over the top. Connell claiming the mark. Can't pay that. It gets a flick out now to Weedy Phillips. He'll have to move the ball quickly. Good handball over the top to LePage. LePage just overran the ball. Jeremy Ray comes in. He tries to pick it up with Hanley close on his hammer, and the ball's forced out of bounds.
Well, the players losing their footing out there, Bill. It's very slippery, and I think it's something they should be trying to concentrate on doing. So the ball back into play, centre wing. It spills to the back of the pack. The handball comes wide to Verbeek, who kicks round the corner. Contest, Hailebury with numbers. Jeremy Ray now clear with the ball. Looks long to centre half forward. It's over Disco's head, and uncontested Murray takes the mark for Mazenod. Disco not even looking at the ball there. So it comes wide. The mark is dropped by Murray. Wappy's there to place pressure. Pletcher now, clear, gets the kick out to a clear JD. He's got an absolute paddock here, the doctor. Turns round and goes on. Looks inboard to a leading Nick Moray, the machine. Magnificent effort to mark that. He will go back and I think set sail for goal. So Nick Moray will kick from 43 metres. He's about 10 in from the boundary. A very difficult shot, but we know for this man, it's just like shelling peas.
Okay, so Nicholas Moray, he lines it up. It's swinging back around, and it's gone through for one behind. So Hailebury 1 goal 4-10 play. Mazenod 1 goal 1-7. And that was just beautiful skills by Moray to take that mark under all sorts of pressure. Fantastic stuff. Okay, so Bellinger this time kicks out wide, looking for Murray. Bobby Pletcher, you can see his bald spot shining in the rain. The ball comes over the back to Armstrong. Lane's on his hammer. Mackenzie trying to buffet his way to the front. Mackenzie sees it out of bounds. So good work by the boys. And Mazenod again, they always look for Pickering and Murray. They're very predictable in that. So it'll be Orton up again against O'Hara. Mackenzie just sneaking out to the back now, trying to cover up. Orton now gets the ball back down to the front. Burns will stream through and keep it in play, and he does very well. Moray's in front. Moray hasn't got the ball. JD, Moray picks it up, keeps his feet magnificently well. He goes to Ralph Smith. Ralph Smith gets pushed in the back, and he's called that a boundary throw-in. So you can't get much more of an obvious push in the back than that, but umpire Jackson obviously in a far better position than we are. And there goes the throw in. Orton gets the front spot again. He tries to go over the back. Oh, Ralphie gets clobbered in there. Tries to play for the free kick. Pickering comes over the top. And LePage, Murray and Pletcher see it over the top. And it really is an insight into Bobby Pletcher's hairline up here, Tim.
Certainly is. Young man fighting the receding follicles and losing. Anyway, Bloods really seem to have the numbers at the ball everywhere around the game. Ball comes back into play. Flip wide, now comes to Jeremy Ray, gathering possessions at will at the moment. Disco with the sit, can't quite get his hands on the footy. Mazenod now with numbers. Shocking handball, goes to Wayne Phillips. He goes wide, Disco with a couple of yards, now he's hot. Keeps working, works the body in, tries to take his player out, loses his footing. JD does the chasing. The ball now wide in the open spaces where Hailebury once again in a 2-on-1 situation. Constable Phillips doing the shepherding. Constable breaks clear now. Looks long. Gives the handball in now to Disco. Stops. Props. Has the kick smothered. Possibly a little slow. Great tackle. Wayne Phillips called too high.
Well, Stick's got to go the first option, just like Mazenod have there. And it's play on as Verbeek kicks it in short. And a beautiful pass into Noble, and Dimatia could do nothing about that. So Noble comes in now. He's got Allen on a long lead. Seckle will come over the top and punch, and does so. Good big punch from Sek. So the ball spills free. Orton doing the roving. He kicks it out wide, only to find a loose player from Mazenod who has a shot for goal. And I'll give you the tip. He has kicked that. Magnificent kick. Just trying to pick up who that was out there. Running down the ground. It looked like... It was magnificent footy. It was Verbeek. So a great goal. So Mazenod 2 goals, 1-13 lead. Hailebury by 3 points at the 21.5 minute mark of the first quarter. Hailebury 1 goal, 4-10. JD doing plenty of chasing down that wing, but to no avail. So Orton up in the ruck against O'Hara. That's better. Orton's jumped right into him then and made his presence felt. So the ball spills free to Dom Barker. Dom Barker gets it back inside to Green. Green comes over the top in the direction of JD, who run back with the flight of it, and Phillips will go the punch. And Hanley just stood there, and Phillips wanted the ball more, and he's got JD back inside. He's got Jeremy Ray back this way. Oh, just fumbling handball. Jeremy Ray goes for the boundary line, and Connell's just lined the bloke up. And that was Marshall saw him at the last minute, and Connell was doing some very tough work in there. We probably should have made a bit more of that. So it'll be Orton against O'Hara again. Relsmith comes down now to lend support. He's got Orton straight back to Constable. Constable with a quick kick away. He gets the nice little shaped torp out towards the boundary line. JD comes off the ground, and Richardson's on for the first time. So interesting move by the coach there.
Certainly is. Maybe he's going to rotate his on-ballers through the bench. Make sure he keeps plenty of fresh legs for later in the game. So the ball back into play. Orton front position again. Can't get a decisive tap out. Bursting through is Armstrong and Poland, and the ball is seen over the boundary line once more. So the two big men set to do battle once again. Orts looks to have had the better of this battle early, and once again gets a decisive tap. Back in the direction of Mackenzie. Slick hands out. Flip wide by Murray. Ball in now. Comes wide now to Barker. He stops, props, beats Bobby Pletcher. Kicks long on the left, and is fixed by Jezza late, and possibly a little soft to call that down the ground. Umpire Bell just asking Jeremy Ray to settle down a little.
For mine, that was a pretty good hip and shoulder, and it was only a fraction of a second late. There was nothing wrong with that. So Belleville takes the kick. He's gone long. Green's hanging over the back. Oh, good hands by Connell to take the mark. He's got it off to Pletcher quickly. He'll go back to Connell. No, Pletcher takes his time. He's got Gary Phillips out wide. He heads in that direction. Barker will come over the top. Phillips nearly took the mark, but Fisher picks the ball up. He gets it clear to Pickering. Pickering was a bit scared about who was around him. Armstrong should get it off to Relsmith. Relsmith needs a quick kick now. He gets it over the top to Weedy Phillips. Armstrong doing the shepherding. He's got Burns inside. Instead, he goes wide out to Seckle. We've got the numbers and the space at this stage. Seckle leading Chilcott in the race for the ball. He stops and props, though. He gets around him nicely. He gets the handball off to Morrow. Morrow misses it. He's now got Weedy Phillips who's run on with the ball. He gets it off to Ray. Walden now on a lead. He goes in the direction of Walden. He finds him, but Walden just over the top of his head, and Bellinger will butter up and knock it over the boundary line. Jeremy possibly could have had a shot for goal then, but he was looking for Walden.
Certainly my feeling. Now maybe the boys have directions to look for Walden, but if they're going to have to keep the ball a little lower than that, Bill.
Yep, Wally's very strong once in front. Okay, the ball comes over the back. Lane gets a quick kick away and it'll be out of bounds again. So Mazenod at the 24 and 3/4 minute mark. 2 goals, 1-13 playing Hailebury, 1 goal, 4-10. Hailebury's had most of the play this quarter, so Seckle up against O'Hara. O'Hara flicks it back in beautifully to Pickering. Pickering gets a quick kick away. Connell's in the way, so is Murray, and Dimatia gets a push in the back. But Bellinger gets a quick hands off to Murray. Murray over the top. Seckle's going to have to knock this out of bounds because there's no one there, and he does very nicely in doing so without paying the deliberate decision. He led Allen to the ball then. You had 2-on-1, and he did very well over there in front of the advanced bank sign and the big light tower here at Elsternwick Park. So 25.5 minutes gone. Here's the throw in. Dimatia comes over the back and knocks it backwards. Attempted kick off the ground. It comes out wide now to Wayne Phillips, who's been in everything early. Lane keeps his feet, however. He kicks it up in the air. Hanley and Connell, and it's out of bounds on the full. So Connell to take the free kick. He's had a fair few, but he plays on now. He's looking for the shepherd. He finds it. He's run a fair way. He now comes out wide to his mate Armstrong. Don't they team extremely well now? Armstrong's got Phillips on a long lead, and he goes in that direction. Phillips has got 2 yards on his opponent. He's got Rel Smith inside, and that's where he goes. Rel Smith back to Phillips. Phillips picks it up, and he's got Walden. He's got Walden in short. Walden got caught behind, and he knocks it over the back towards Chilcott. Burns is going to come flying in, but a bit too late. Murray goes over the top and inside to Pickering. Pickering back to number 77, who isn't in our records. O'Hara, good smother by Burns. Burns was just desperate. Seckel picks it off, and it's out of bounds. Well, good desperation by Haileyburi to keep the ball inside. It was a pretty good build-up.
Possibly the best piece of play for the game so far by the Bloods. They brought it down this open right-hand side of the ground. Disco takes his man out of play. Mazenod through Murray, drive the ball out of defence. Bobby Pletcher makes the contest, follows on now. Orton gets in. Pletcher, hard work. It spills wide. Mazenod on the ground. Pickering, quick hands out. Green goes over the top to Barker, who comes inboard to Poland. A little chip kick. Dimity keeps his footing. Flips the ball wide to Constable. Now with a couple of moments. Handball intercepted by Ellen. The ball, big contest now. Haileyburi with the numbers. Connell, desperation, and gets the free kick, and he's just a tremendous finals footballer, Connell.
That was magnificent stuff. He put his body on the line. Now they want to move this quick because he had Phillips out wide and McKenzie, but he ignores him. He's now got Pletcher out this side on his own if he can get that far, and that's the direction he's going to come. Blair Main, your thoughts so far?
I reckon we're just getting killed around the packs at the moment. Chrissy McKenzie, haven't seen much of him. Need more from the skipper.
Well, and umpire Bell's paid a very soft free kick to Barker. Oh. Noble doesn't even know he's got a free kick. That's how soft it was. So it's come back to Noble. So he's gone in short towards Jeremy Ray, who's under the hammer, and there's the siren. So a low-scoring first quarter, went 27 minutes and 50 seconds. Mazenod leading 2 goals, 1-13 to Haileyburi, 1 goal, 4-10. And it was quite a scrappy first quarter, but you can't really expect too much under the conditions. Haileyburi went in as hard as they could, and it really was a battle out there.
Yeah, you just had the feeling Haileyburi with most of the play, but just unable to cap off a lot of their forward thrusts. Mazenod only brought the ball into their forward line 3 or 4 times, but were very productive when they did. And I think it's really set the scene for the way the game will go today. Very difficult to score. Goals will be of paramount importance. We'll probably see a pretty low-scoring affair. And I think if the Bloods can keep this intensity up for the entire game, we should see a favourable result.
Yes, Mazenod will be pretty happy hanging in the game there and leading at quarter time. Because, as Tim said, they had most of the scoring, and Anthony Keck down there, former champion amateur footballer for old Camberwell, and a great name dropper with mates like Peter Schwab, fantastic Hawthorn supporter and fantastic player for old Camberwell, just walking into shot now, speaking to Stephen Baker. So I'm not quite sure what Neville Taylor will be saying. I mean, we really did have a fair income dip that quarter. Unfortunately, just at the forward line, we fell down a little bit. Walden was making okay leads, and no one really at the fall of the ball. Burns and Morrow trying hard, but they've been well tagged so far. So we've just got the stats here. If we take a quick look at those. And Armstrong in the first quarter with 5 kicks and 2 handballs. Burns with 3 kicks and a handball. Connell with 4 kicks and 2 handballs. Constable with 2 and 3. Dam with 1 and 2. Dimatia with 3 handballs. LePage dominant early, 5 kicks and 2 handballs. McKenzie 4 kicks and 3 handballs. Moray 4 kicks and 2 handballs. Gary Phillips was busy with 3 and 3. Wayne Phillips with 4 and 5 has been the highest stats getter so far. Pletcher with 3 kicks. Jeremy Ray was busy in the middle period of the quarter with 4 and 2. Rel Smith with 1 and 3. And Mark Seckel started off very well with 4 and 3. We look down across to the 1%ers, and we see that there was 15 tackles that quarter, which was fantastic, and leading, as usual, Gary Phillips and Wayne Phillips with 2 each, with Burns as well with 2, and Armstrong had 3 strong tackles that quarter and a chase. Moray, unfortunately, has kicked 3 behind so far. LePage kicked 1 behind, and Walden 1 point. And some strong hard work there too by Burns with a couple of fists. And Rel Smith again with a couple of tackles also. So early on, we've had plenty of the footy. 34 1%ers, and you'd expect the 1%ers to be a bit higher in these sort of conditions. Welcome Wes. fantastic performance, Wes Burns. If we just pop around, we'll interview Wes. Fantastic game so far, Wesley. He's not saying much, but he never does, the postman. He's very well decorated here. And you want to interview him, Tim?
Wes, well, as we know, you don't say a lot, but, your thoughts on the first quarter. Show the maybe the pattern for the game for the rest of the day. Thanks a lot, Wesley. Well, obviously, Wes has got his mind on the game, so we'll leave him to think about it. Thanks, Wes.
Well, I haven't seen anything more stupid than that in a long time out here in a football game. Chris Reedy, your thoughts on the first quarter?
Hailebury, a lot of the ball. Need to do a bit more with it.
Okay, have we just crossed across to Skeeter at the park?
Skeeter, you there, Skeeter? Yes, I'm here, Billy. It's Geelong 4 goals 2, Richmond 1 goal 1, Ablett off the ground with what appears to be a knee injury.
Okay, so there's plenty of umbrellas, there's colourful ones down there. It is all happening. We get the big wave from the big Hearters down there. He was out drinking with Bill till 1 o'clock in the morning. 5 double Cointreaux on ice later. Bill was home in bed. Magnificent performance by the young 17-year-old. He got the coach back after the coach killed him in the school game.
I'll return for half-time. We're off
So, mate, Anthony Keck, one of the most famous footballers for old Camberwell, joining us. What do you think so far, Kecky?
Mate, too wet to say at the moment. It's got to settle down a little bit. I've only seen the last 10 minutes. But I reckon you've got to start kicking it over the full forward line and get some of your young runners running into it, because you're trying to play a bit of dry weather footy. Maybe you need to revert a bit to the conditions. But that's from 10 minutes, mate. Ask me in a half an hour.
Okay, Anthony Keck. Stephen Baker, what were your thoughts? You were down there at the huddle.
Well, he said first option, keep your feet, and that was basically it. First option, keep your feet, had a lot of the ball, just use it. Going the second or third option leaves your man out of position. That was basically the summary of the quarter-time huddle.
Very astute reporting there by Stephen Baker. And Keith Schilling here with the lollies, and you can't eat and talk, Keith, you idiot. Cheggers might have one. Big crowd here today. Your predictions on the crowd size, Kecky?
1,800.
He's full of shit, that's why he works in advertising.
I hope he's not the accountant down there at Y&R.
Okay, so umpire Bell ready to toss the ball up to start the second quarter. Mazenod 2 goals 1-13 lead, Hailebury 1 goal 4. There's the siren.
I'd like to ask the most crucial question so far. Why did the lollies pass me without getting one?
Very interesting question. Orton up against O'Hara. Orton wins one. Mackenzie was in good position. Relsmith now, he's got the sit. He's got LePage out wide. He finds LePage. LePage has got tries to find Seckle back inside. It was a good tackle. And Big Joza, number 77. That's a bloody heavy thing to carry around all day in the wet. He goes over to O'Hara. O'Hara looks for Verbeek, but he has some spasticity problems. He gets it over to Green. Green on his non-preferred hand over to Lane. Lane goes along in the direction of Murray. Connell comes over the top, tries to take the mark. But Dimatia butters up. Good tackle by Belleville. Jeremy Ray, another possession. So far, so good. The coach there. G. Phillips. Burns is under it with Poland. Burns, clever use of the body. Relsmith gets it over towards Burns and O'Hara. O'Hara misses it. Mackenzie can run into the open goal. Instead, he looks for... Oh, beautiful punch away by Chilcott through for a point. Mackenzie saw the goals. He can't kick over a jam tin, Mackenzie. And that was just so again.
Mackenzie setting sail on the left, probably a bit of voice around there to let him know he was clear, could have let him straighten up, run maybe another 5 or 10 and set sail on his right. So the ball's taken wide where Barker takes the mark out in front of Armstrong. Kicks long to centre wing where Armstrong covering a lot of territory he's got back there. Picked up. Quick hands out by Disco. Burns looks long, inboard. Backing back is Phillips. Strong work. Wally in the lead for the race for the ball, but the boundary line beats all starters. Very difficult actually to pick out some of the players here in the gloom at Elsternwick Park. So Seckle to do the ruck work. Phillips to his right. The ball spills clear. Knowing Burns taps on. A clearing kick from Murray, where LePage has an absolute paddock. Stops, props, beats a man. Loses his footing, gets up, gets the handball inboard to Mackenzie. He picks up, looks hands wide, comes back now to Bobby Pletcher. He goes long into the forward line. Moray, Walden at the back, says bang, and has hit the post. Well, it looked ungainly and somehow he's just managed not to get it through for a goal.
Well, I don't think that umpire will be umpiring too many amateur games again. That was a shocking decision. Walden clearly got his boot on the ball, and that is the most disgusting decision I've seen in a long time. Verbeek with strength and experience over Richardson gives him one in the face, a couple of backhanders. So Verbeek will go back. He'll look for O'Hara and Murray. That's the direction he goes. And Murray's got the sit over the back with Phillips with a big punch, and O'Hara just fumbles it. Poland goes back inside. Beautiful hands to Murray. Murray delays his kick and he kicks it out of bounds. It'll bounce and bounce and bounce, and it'll be out of bounds. I'm still getting over that goal umpire's decision. Walden's still back-chatting him. They've got Joser on Walden. So Wardy Casper's running some waters out to young Richardson. The big long throw in. O'Hara's got the sit. He gets it down. Wardy Phillips, fantastic tackle. Gary Phillips over to Richardson, who fumbles. Verbeek on Richardson. Verbeek just looks for the boundary line and knocks it over. Great tackle in there by Wardy Phillips. So I'm not quite sure who Hicksy's waiting down there for to tell a message to. But the boundary umpire will toss it in. Orton's got the front position. O'Hara seems to be quite willing to give that away to him. And Orton gets a fist on that. Now Mackenzie and Phillips. Mackenzie, he's got numbers. That's holding the ball. It should have been. Rel Smith with a quick chip over the top. Lane sees it over the boundary line. Burns comes in with a late hard hit. Mackenzie thought he was clear then, and he had a gang tackle by a couple of the players. So Mazenod have lost Morgan with a knee injury at this stage. Orton in there again. Just nullify each other. Burns tries to get out to Richardson. Verbeek not even trying very hard, and Bell will come in. The man with the bald cranium, umpire Bell.
So umpire Bell to send the ball skywards. Orton looks to have just edged out O'Hara in the battle so far. They leap. Orton again with a knockout. Pickering gathers and kicks blindly. Jeremy Ray to contest, but the ball is spilt. The mark spilt there. Murray plays for the free kick and will receive it. So the Bloods, Wappy will have to stand the mark. And Murray to drive Mazenod into attack. He has Barker on in the middle. And just it goes bang and long. Big contest. Gary Phillips, big punch over the top. Well gathered by Ganga Green. The ball's spilling out into the pocket and looks like the boundary line will win the race. Darren Seckle gathers another 10 metres for the Bloods. And we'll see a boundary throw in down in the back pocket.
We're yet to see the cheap Italian Moselle Chin Connor for Mazenod. I wonder where he is, Tim.
Well, I've heard a rumour during the week that he's out through overeating, and hopefully we won't see the filthy little wog for the rest of the game. So the ball kicked wide. Good mark taken out there wide by Verbeek. He stands up. He has O'Hara inboard, but looks further afield. Doesn't seem to have an option. They're all covered by the Bloods. Goes in short now to Barker. He takes the mark. Mazenod just chipping the ball around as that's kicked further afield to Lane. Lane points long and will kick long with a contest. And Dimitar, uncontested, takes the mark. He has Gary Phillips on, wide, loose. Dave Connell looking now for the switch. Has one touch on the ground. Has another touch. He'll go for a bit of a run here. Kicks long and finds Rao Smith. Can't quite find the handle. Taps the ball on cleverly. Picked up by Pletcher, who goes in short, and Seckle with the front position. An open forward line. Little chip in short, finds the machine from 43. Could have a shot.
The machine lining up for the drop punt. This is a lay down misère for the machine. That is home, and Hailebury hits the lead. Hailebury 2 goals, 6-18. Plays Mazenod 2 goals, 1-13, and the big red Eddie Bingham races onto the ground to replace Richardson. Fantastic build up there by the Bloods. The boys in the centre of the ground trying to remove all the mud off the hands and the boots. Rel Smith still down on hands and knees with Pletcher. They're all fine, however. It was great footy by the Bloods. A great switch by Connell. It slipped off the side of his boot, but Rel Smith was able to get the ball inside. Pletcher a quick kick off to Seckle.
Yeah, it's like it works still.
So O'Hara wins that one. Phillips, quick kick away. Got to go again. Lane comes in late. Gary Phillips knocks it forward to Burns. Burns has got Constable wide, a beautiful dummy. He goes back inboard to Mark Seckle. Mark Seckle coming to the game. He gives it over to Mackenzie. Mackenzie fumbles it. Keeps his feet, however. He'll try and knock it. No, Pickering. Good tackle by Mackenzie on Pickering. Jeremy Ray flicks it back inboard. And Murray goes off the ground, only to find Wayne Phillips has got Walden on a great lead. And Phillips just lines him up. Oh, Wally should have attempted to go for that. Really should have tried to keep it inboard. We had the numbers. He had LePage in front of him. He just got a hand on it. So over the top it went, and there's a throw in. So Mark Seckel will battle O'Hara. Mark Seckel in good positioning, tries to steal it again rather than tapping it. Gary Phillips, good tackle. Attempted smother, and it goes out of bounds on the full, so Mackenzie will line up from 40. Not quite sure if Macca can make the distance from here. He's got Moray on a quick lead. He's got Gary Phillips long, and he goes in the direction of Gary Phillips, who comes screaming in. Oh, he's just a bit too far. They're all leading 50 metres for Mackenzie. It's a bit far for him. So Verbeek goes over the top for Chilcott. Chilcott goes into Ballinger. Ballinger's got Barker over the top with a quick little kick. And Marshall cleverly knocks it on. Connell's lined him up, misses him. So Barker gets the run of the footy. He gets it on to Murray. Murray goes in short to Noble. Noble fumbles it. And Dimatia and Connell comes in and crunches Noble. And a quick little kick in there by Lane. And Constable leads the race for the ball. Constable gets over top to Darren Seckel. Darren Seckel tried to keep it back inside to Burns, but the ball goes out of bounds. Good pressure by Allen.
Well, the game now starting to sweep quickly from end to end as the players get more used to the conditions. And a wonderful surgical finish from Morey moments ago is just the sort of thing the Bloods need. That's where he's been so good this year for them. Can make the most of limited possessions. It's the ball wide now. Armstrong, handball over the top to Mackenzie under pressure, and once again it finds the boundary line. So the ball to come back into play. Orton moves in to do the ruck work. Once again, look to have got the tap. Lane with the run, but in front is now Jeremy Ray with the hands wide. Dimatia can't quite find the handle. Sorry, Mackenzie it was. Jeremy Ray with about a 10-metre slide, gets the handball cleared. Armstrong with the run of the ball, shows great dash. Little handball into his own advantage, keeps running. Now he's got the ball and slung off his kick, but the machine has gone in front.
Fantastic individual effort by Armstrong. That was absolutely magnificent. He took off from the half-back flank, took on two of them. And what are they doing, stuffing around with it? Mark Seckel showing that he doesn't like kicking for goal there. Good gang tackle, and he's paid it too high. Well, O'Hara comes out wide. Mark Seckel's got to start having a shot from those ones. Okay, Moray's run this bloke down. Oh, and he misses him. And Constable, oh, good mark. Morgan back on the ground now. He's got his knee taped up. He's only just back on the ground. So he goes long in the direction of Noble and Dimatia. Dimatia will see that over the boundary. Oh, nearly a good mark. Tapped over the top. Well, that was a fantastic performance by Armstrong down the wing before. And Moray, maybe he should have had a shot himself. He found Seckel 30 metres out, and Seckel wanted to go for another short pass. Okay, there's the toss in. Orton, the front position again. He gets a little nudge by O'Hara. The umpire sees it. And Orton will take the free kick now. Move it quickly. He's got Gary Phillips in short. Come on. He said didn't even see him. So Orton now goes in long. Seckel over the top. Armstrong ducks his head. He gets it over to Rel Smith. Can run forward now. Big long kick by Rel Smith. Will go out of bounds in front of Edward Bingham. So Walden's been moved up onto a half-forward flank, and Eddie Bingham's gone to full forward. There's the throw in. Mark Seckel works his way to the front, tries to knock it over the back. He gets a quick kick away. It's smothered. O'Hara goes in after it. Murray gets it. Oh, he's paid. Oh, I thought he was going to pay the throw.
We over the road at half time.
Half time, 30 minutes.
So Seckel works it down to Phillips. Phillips tries to break through the pack. It comes clear to Joza. Joza, oh, good tackle by Bingham to send. Good tackle by Moray to dispose of him. Armstrong comes flying in. Joza sees it out of bounds.
Tremendous pressure there again by the Bloods to keep it in their forward line. Keeps them with a scoring opportunity if they can just get a clear possession from this boundary throw in. So Seckel again does the ruck work, runs underneath the ball. Bark with the clearing kick, where it's Ballinger out in front of his man, Pletcher, who wins the battle, looks inboard, kicks long. Ralph Smith contests, gets the kick, the hands wide, good hands from the Doctor. Balking work there from Macca, back into the Doctor. He goes back to Weedy Phillips. Weedy Phillips can't find the handle, he's crunched into the ground. Great desperate tackle from Ralph Smith. The ball spills wide now. Mazenod with the numbers. And through Lane will be able to clear. Ball driven down to the forward line. Connell leads in the race for the ball, is unable to gather it and sees it over the line.
So Hailebury 2 goals, 6-18 at the 12-minute mark. Mazenod 2 goals, 1-13. The boundary umpire caught behind play. Interesting decisions on the selection table, and Tim and I have got a very good theory about what happened there.
Well, I do believe that the two players who were omitted from the second semi-final, Neville Taylor announced early in the year he didn't want players wearing tracksuit pants to training, and I just wonder if it's any coincidence that the two players omitted this week both wear long sleeves, Bill.
Yes, it's a gigantic rumour, but it's one that could well be true. Okay, so the ball comes throwing in again in front of the club warehouse and Deodora signs. Mackenzie hovering at the back. Seckle tries to snatch it out of the ruck again. Armstrong slips over, so does Orton. Quick handball inside by Pickering, finds Belleville. Good smother there, good desperation. Relsmith kicks it off the ground, and Moray dwelling upon Chilcott, but the ball goes clear. And there's our favourite man, Chincotta. He gets his first kick of the game, goes in short, and he goes out of bounds. So, Gary Phillips and LePage changing on the ball. Walden's moved up to a permanent half-forward flanker. Mark Seckles come right into the game this quarter. But again, Hailebury just can't put it onto the board. Can't convert the opportunities. Fantastic tackle in by Bobby Pletcher. Just buried his opponent who has not moved. Tim.
Well, that's pretty typical of a Bobby Pletcher tackle. He tends to do a bit of telling damage as Ralph Smith overruns the ball. His immediate opponent drives into the forward line, where it's Seckle backing back into the ball. Ellen's taken out of the play by a fine Constable tackle. Gives LePage the chance to find the hand or get it wide. Phillips has Pletcher running by. Will go inboard with the left. A lovely kick to Seckle, who has run on. He stands his ground now. Goes back to set up play again. He has Morey on his own. And Morey takes the mark out on true centre wing. Looks up. Wants to move the ball on quickly. He doesn't have a lot of options down forward. Now Phillips gives him one. A long lead. Walden will also contest, but there's Phillips with an absolute special.
Oh, that is mark of the century. Well, that is Botsa. Nick, if you can go back and kick the torp here, that would be the most magnificent bit of play I've ever seen. He's going the torp. He's nailed it. Kick it home. Shepherd it through. Oh, jeez. He was up forever. Someone take him out an oxygen mask because he is having some altitude sickness. G. Phillips at the 14.5 minute mark. So Hailebury must convert here to make the most. So Phillips comes over to do the Ablett. Bingham gets it clear. Kick off the ground by Belleville. Clever little knock forward by Chincotta and a silly tackle. He played for it, but it was there. It's head-high tackle. You don't need those when you're trying to keep the ball in the forward line. So Pickering goes over the top. He finds Belleville, the captain. He'll go wide and look for Murray. Pletcher's solid with him, and Constable read that the best of them all. Pletcher's got a bloke hanging on him. Oh, good give. So Phillips now, he finds Mackenzie now. Walden's got to give the Shepherd. He gives it back to Walden. He tries to find Moray. You can't have 40-metre handballs in the wet. He really needed to kick that footy. So, not a lot of talk there. Those boys have been playing together since they were about 5 years old, Mackenzie and Walden. Thick as thieves. Had their first packet of first fish and chip stop at age 5 and their first TAB visit at 6. So Walden comes in and could have absolutely creamed him. Missed. And the ball's out of bounds at the 15.5 minute mark. And Ablett's kicked his 6th.
Miracle comeback there from Gary Ablett, but the ball now comes wide. Machine, now that's the same thing, Belly. Ball flips wide. LePage, can he get in front? Can he get his hands on the foot? He kept his footing well, but his Mazenod opponent hammers the ball out of bounds. So if the Bloods can just manage to start capitalising on their forward thrusts. Mackenzie with the run of the ball, gets blocked off it. The Machine surprisingly misses. He's usually pretty reliable in that snapshot situation. And the Bloods register another behind. 2-7 to 2-1. Mazenod very efficient in their scoring thrusts. The Bloods perhaps a little wayward. And you just wish they could have possibly sealed this game by now, Bill.
Yeah, we must have had 80% of the play. The ball's been forever in our forward line. So Constable and Chincotta. Constable gets a good hand down. Ralph Smith has got Walden. Walden could have a shot from there and does. He goes in long. Eddie Bingham's got to bring it down to Moray. Oh, Moray nearly took it himself. So Joser is playing quite well down there at fullback. He gets it out to Fisher. Now Pletcher will come over the top. And Constable. And Ralph Smith gets hammered as soon as he gets it. And Murray just breaks free. Orton goes for the late smother. It was good pressure by the big fella Orton, who's doing some hard work. And Orton will take the free kick for out in the full.
And that kick went wider out of bounds and a few of your drives, Billy. Weedy Phillips now looking for the option. He has Eddie Bingham on a half-hearted lead. Wes Burns now gives him something, but it's LePage who breaks clear of his opponent. Lovely skills there from Weed, who runs on looking for the handball. Now he has Mackenzie in short. Fine disposal once again. Walden runs onto it and goes long and misses to the near side.
Clever thinking there by Mackenzie and Walden, because Mackenzie was a bit far out for his kicking ability, and Walden, it's pretty much a laydown from 45, but he missed. Good pressure still from Mazenod. So Morgan, beautiful long kick, but Armstrong's underneath it and takes a great mark in the way. He's got LePage in short. He hasn't been quick enough. He's still running backwards now. He goes into Mackenzie again, and Eddie Bingham and Fisher, and it comes wide, and it's Constable, Murray and Pletcher. And Pletcher goes back onto it. Oh, he left it for, good hands. And now give it off to Weed. He plays on. He goes inboard to nobody. And Belleville, Ralph Smith steals it on the left to Moray. Well, you work hard all day, then you get the fluke kick like that. Ralphie gets up. He copped a heavy knock once he'd kicked that, and Mackenzie lifts him up. And Nicky Moray lining up for his second. It's the 18.5 minute mark. Hailebury 2:8:20. Mazenod 2:1:13. And Moray pops that through for Hailebury's third and Moray's second. Hailebury 3:8:26, Mazenod 2:1:13. Great stuff by the Blooders. Neville Taylor, the coach, sending Hicksy out for a few words. So some of the Hailebury's bigger names coming into the play now.
Certainly are. Morey, the polished performer that he is. There's not a man in amateur football who can go with him, who can stop him. They've got it's Fisher they've got picking him up, the surfy. So up again. Orton once again the knock. He's been on top today. LePage Alate, it could have been a free kick. The ball spills wide. And Josa kicks it straight down Wesley Burns' throat. He'll go back. Give it wide to Wayne Phillips. No, it's Bobby Pletcher, sorry. He kicks long. Seckle unable to take the mark. A good spoil there. Orton runs onto the ball. Can't quite find the tackle. He's bumped off it. Wayne Phillips, that's got to be in his back, as he was driven into the ground by the Moose O'Hara. So Wayne Phillips with the ball on centre wing. He has Bobby Pletcher inboard if he wants to use him. But no, he'll look wide at Ralph Smith. Taken out of the play. LePage, strong work, and the ball's seen over the boundary. And Billy, Ralph Smith looks a little bit sick out there.
Yes, I think he's copped one, a little knee in the back, and he's very ginger as he gets up. He is the Terminator, though. So Seckle will be up in the ruck. Oh, it comes easily clear to Mazenod. Pickering looking for the handball. O'Donnell's on and gives a quick hard hit to Josa. And Rogers is on as well for Mazenod. So Orton goes off. He's played well so far, but O'Donnell's to play the last 10 minutes of the quarter. Bobby Pletcher and Jeremy Ray run into each other, but Paddy O'Donnell picks up in his first possession in the grand final and only his third game for Hailebury. He gets it over to Mackenzie, who looks like he's playing on the flank now. Good tackle by Moray, and he's paid holding the man. You are an idiot, Martin Jackson, because he had the footy, and I don't know how he got rid of it. So Fisher will take the free kick. O'Donnell's gone straight into the ruck. So Fisher goes wide. Chilcott, he goes wide out to Rogers, who's had a couple of quick kicks. Armstrong mans him up. So long kick by Rogers. Connell over the top with a big punch was fantastic, but beautifully rove by Pickers. Pickering over the top. Gary Phillips is trying to mow down Murray and does so, and Murray plays for the free kick, and Phillips sees it over the boundary line. It was good footy by Phillips, and Murray and Phillips have a bit of tate-da-tay down there in front of the Wormeld security sign. So Dimatia comes back. It'll be O'Donnell versus Noble in the ruck. Dimatia might come in from the side. It comes in short. O'Donnell gets a good knock over the top to Jeremy Ray, who comes out, tries to find Walden, who was on his own. Walden just should... the bloke saw him coming too. So Moray comes... great tackle by Nicky Moray. Stupid decision by Jackson, who is an absolute imbecile of an umpire. That was a fantastic tackle by Moray. Well, and quickly off Poland. Now hold the game up, you idiot. Well, when you watch this Brian Bullis again, you will see who the good umpires are and who the spastics are. So good punch by Seck. picked it off by Pickering with a quick little toe poke. And another little one from there. Weedy Phillips or Walden comes in and just gives Chin Cotter a great bump. Pletcher with a quick little kick over the top, but just finds O'Hara. Seckle should hold him up. He got the handball off to Chilcott. Walden comes flying in and misses him. He goes in short to Pickering. Pickering looking for the handball. Good little interception by Burns. Walden just goes straight at Pickering. Mark Seckle gives away another free kick. So Chilcott to take the ball. Walden probably could have picked the ball up at that stage. So Chilcott goes in, good kick. Mackenzie holds his ground in front and picks it up. Mackenzie back to Burns. Burns has got Relsmith on his own, instead decides to go out wide. Good little shepherd by Jeremy Ray. Jeremy Ray into Relsmith. Relsmith into the open goal. And has kicked it. Good work by Ralphie. Fantastic work. That was a great build-up by the Blooders. They look much better when they're running their footy like that. That was dry weather stuff. Good play. Mackenzie got it over. Good little shepherd by Jeremy Ray in there too.
Well, I think the coaches, one of the coaches' worries was leading into this game whether we'd have the pace to go with Mazenod, but certainly there's a magenta and black jumper leading to every contest at the moment. Players such as Burns and Phillips just using their pace to tremendous advantage. So O'Donnell now with his first face-to-face encounter with O'Hara. A lot of talk over the week about how he was going to face him. Look for him to jump into him. Left his run a little late. Couldn't get out of the mud quick enough. Gary Phillips with a quick kick wide. Goes to the advantage of LePage. He's got a paddock. Will go onto that delightful left foot. Spears the pass in. Machine. Almost a beautiful pickup. Rouse Smith into the play again. Finds some space. Centralises it with the left foot. Mazenod can't quite the fact. Oh, that's got to be deliberate. Jesus, Belly. He lined that up about 4 seconds before he got his hands on the footy and just aimed straight at the advertising hoardings. So the ball to come back into the play in the forward pocket. Seckle takes clear possession, can't quite grab it. He's dispossessed by Murray. Great smother by Rouse Smith, doing some tremendous hard working there. And once again, the Bloods forwards with their tremendous pressure bill force it over the boundary line.
I think the 1% account will be up around 40 this quarter. It's been fantastic. Rouse Smith especially in the last couple of minutes. So now Gary Phillips is hovering in here. Mark Seckle will go for leaving it again. Mackenzie, Seckle quick kick. Eddie Bingham stood there. Morgan, he gets a quick kick away, but straight to Walden. Walden's going to come over the top and take the big specky. Now Wally can kick that. Oh, Wally just says, Mr. Pickering, if you don't let me go, you'll be in hospital. So Walden, he'll be kicking from 40, well within his capabilities. And wouldn't this lift the side? Hanley comes over for a couple of cheap shots. Christopher Mackenzie's favourite trick. So Walden. The crowd, a very sudden hush around Elsternwick Park. Haileyburi 4-8-32. Oh, Wally. So out of bounds it goes. Haileyburi 4-8-32 at the 25-minute mark. Mazenod 2-1-13. Wally just off 2 steps and he really needed to have a bit of a run at it. His boots are clogged with mud. He's got the long stops in. So it'll be Chilcott to bring it back into play. Morgan runs past for the quick little handball. So over the top, Gary Phillips and Rogers. Gary Phillips comes in off the second grab. Weedy Phillips overruns it. Chin Cotter. Now Pickering and Burns. Mickey Constable. Oh, and Burns cops one off the side. Pickering did very well not to get absolutely crunched then. And Verbeek, that'll pay that. Yeah, that was a mark. So Verbeek goes to play on. Jeremy Ray comes in for the late smother. Bobby Pletcher's got to go at him and does well and got a hand on it. David Connell gets it flicked back towards Dimatia against play. Dimatia's got Jeremy Ray. Mackenzie comes off for a rest and Richardson goes back on. Mackenzie's done a truckload of work in the first half. Just freshen those legs up to the 26-minute mark now. O'Donnell gets wrestled to the ground and O'Donnell, oh, he's played it the other way. That is a joke. The other bloke had hold of O'Donnell. So O'Donnell has a few words. The coach tells him to shut his mouth. So Hanley, who kicked 6 last week against Therry, lines up from 40, goes to Torp. And O'Donnell, and you heard Sex ball. O'Donnell gets it off, straight back to Lane. Lane runs into an open goal. Connell going back with a flight of it and punches it through. Tell you what, I could see his fist behind the goalpost from here.
You're not wrong there, Bill, but as we know, some of these goal umpires, their vision isn't the greatest, especially when they're out there without their specs on. So Seckle now to drive the ball back into play. LePage offers a lead to the near side, as does Disco. He looks for his brother. Bobby Pletcher's in there as well. Ball comes to the ground. Mackenzie tries to flip it out. Gary Phillips now with the run of the ball. It sits nicely for him. Little kick round the corner. Walden keeps his feet well. Stays in front. Now he's got it. Gives it back to Phillips with a poor handball, and the ball is seen over the boundary.
Tough little handball there from Walden. It's a bit slippery. You can see the ball. Try to give it off to Phillips. Okay, so Mark Seckle will battle O'Hara here. O'Donnell goes down to full forward. So Bobby Pletcher breaks free, gets the quick kick away, and O'Donnell in the box seat goes at it. Good punch away. Goes over to Poland, who fumbles, and Eddie Bingham, and it's out of bounds. So at the 27.5-minute mark, Hailebury are 18 points in front. 4-8-32 plays Mazenod 2-2-14. And there's the siren.
So the Bloods once again dominant in the run of play. And in that quarter they've added 2-3. Or possibly more than that. And they lead at half-time by 18 points. 3 straight kicks. And really with the majority of the play, Bill, they'd like to be further in front with that, but I'm sure that Coach Neville will be pretty happy with their endeavour.
Yeah, I think so. They've had a red-hot dip, but they just haven't been able to convert. Anthony Keck, your thoughts?
Yeah, right, Billy. They haven't been able to convert, but I think they've got far more endeavour. Who's the ex-Hawthorn bloke that's playing out there, Billy? Jog my memory.
For who?
For you guys? Nah, St Kilda. Nah, he did play at Hawthorn. Hawthorn and St Kilda. And the big, strong fella, Ralph Smith. Thanks, mate. Geez, you know your player as well. I thought he was fantastic because he actually had a dip, because there's not going to be much skill out there today. It's going to be blokes who put in the hardest. And I think he's leading the way. So back to you, matey.
Thank you very much. And the crowd bemused by our commentary up here. So Hailebury wander off the ground. Mackenzie and Orton draped in the long dressing gowns. Phillips was magnificent in that first half. Mark Seckle's been a real trier and a focal point. Walden's played very well. Burns has gone in very hard. Constable's been solid in defence. Armstrong came back into it in the wing in that quarter. Jeremy Ray has been a good inclusion. He's held his own. And let's just go to the stats. In the second quarter, Armstrong with 3 and 2. Constable with 4 handballs. Mackenzie with 2 kicks and 7 handballs. Moray with 5 kicks and 2 goals that quarter. Phillips with 4, Gary Phillips with 4 and 2, Wayne Phillips with 5 and 1, Pletcher magnificent that quarter with 7 kicks and a handball, Jeremy Ray 2 and 3, Ralph Smith 4 and 1, and Mark Seckle 3 and 4, Walden 4 and 2, Gary Phillips with 3 punchaways and 2 tackles and a chase, 6 1%ers that quarter. Hailebury had 34 1%ers again, adding to their 34 1%ers in the first quarter. So at this stage, Hailebury with an 18-point lead, and we'll be back very, very shortly with a wrap-up before the start of the third quarter.
Come back from the half-time break. Billy, you've got some stats there.
Well, the stats so far, the dominant stats getters for Hailebury in the first half. Armstrong with 8 kicks and 4 handballs. Burns with 5 and 2. Connell with 5 and 2. Constable solid on the back line with 2 and 7. Burns has also had 6 1%ers, Armstrong 5. Ralph Smith has had 12 1%ers. The ball goes up and it's a free kick being paid against Hailebury, and O'Hara will take the free kick. Pletcher's had 10 kicks and 1 handball. Gary Phillips had 7 kicks, 5 handballs and 9 1%ers. So the kick comes in, Seckle will go over the top and punch. Good punch down. Mackenzie reads it well, and Mackenzie for his 7th kick. He's had 10 handballs also, his 17th possession. The Walden leading the race for the ball. It sits up nicely now. Wally will go long to Seckle, who's leading away from the ball, and Seckle just punched it out of bounds. Mark Seckle, yes, he's had 7 kicks and 7 handballs. Walden's now had 6 kicks and 4 handballs. Jeremy's had 6 and 5, and a free kick to Seckle. So Seckle goes in short to Mackenzie. Mackenzie fumbles it. Jeremy Ray fumbles it. A good tackle by Mackenzie. That should have been holding the ball. Mackenzie, that was his 6th 1%, and Moray's had 9 and 2. So Hailebury's had plenty of possessions, and so far 34 1%ers in both quarters. It's been a magnificent effort. The ruckmen nullify each other. Seckle tries to go over the top. Mackenzie for his 18th possession. Armstrong in short, beautifully to Ralph Smith. Fantastic stuff.
And Ralph Smith singled out by the coach at half-time for his tremendous physical efforts in the first half, just really putting his body on the line. He's had a massive 12 1%ers. We're only aiming for 40 a quarter, so he's putting out about an 1/8 of the team's workload. And he'll line up for a goal from 35 metres. Moves in now, head over the ball. Stayed very still. It's slid off the side of the boot though, and it registers just a 1 minor score. So the Bloods now 19 points in front. And you just feel if they can kick a couple of quick early goals in this third quarter, the game may be all but over. So, Chilcott it is, brings the ball back into play where it's intercepted by Burns. Not a noted long kick. He may just struggle to find the range from here. He's looking for the option. Goes back now. And will drive the ball long into the square. Tries to run around the man. Loses control of the ball and it's taken over the boundary line and will be thrown in.
Neville also spoke about the first option and Burnsy trying to do something special there and maybe would have been better off seeing what happened if it bombed into the square. So the umpire throws it in. Seckle gets to the front. O'Hara goes over the top. McKenzie, another kick. He goes into Rel Smith, who takes a mark, and he's called play on. He called play on because it was touched off the boot. Bingham with a left foot kick back to Burns and finds him. So Burns takes a mark 30 metres out on a very tough angle. At the 2.5 minute mark of the third quarter, Hailebury 4-9-33 and Mazenod 2-2-14. So it'll be Burns.
I don't get special comments, do I? I got to wait my turn, no. I got to put in the years before.
Nevada Hill just speaking a whole lot of shit behind me. So Burns comes in, a low trajectory kick, and it's through for another point. So Hailebury 4-10-34 to Mazenod 2-2-14, a 20-point lead. So the ball comes out towards Rel Smith and Lane. Rel Smith goes the big punch. Walden intercepts. It comes over to Murray, who gets it on to Noble. Noble goes in short. Pletcher tries to intercept. Connell runs straight at it. And now Pletcher gets it. And Connell goes for the shepherd and Pletcher goes for the boundary line. And it is out of bounds. He probably could have gone back inside. Wally was screaming at him. Wally's now telling him to use his head, because he had 13 blokes inside. They were looking for a handball and Bobby went straight for the boundary line. The umpire throws the ball in. Moray gets himself in front position and it just goes over his head. Pletcher has been hammered and the umpire Bell will ball it up as Pickering and Marshall laid the gang tackle. So Hailebury got the numbers to left of screen. Mazenod's got the numbers right of screen. Murray just moving in. He looks for Murray. McKenzie. Murray. Back to Orton. Orton with a handball over to McKenzie, intercepted by Barker. Barker goes back to Pickering. Pickering with a long kick wide. He's got looking for Rogers. Weedy Phillips is in front. And over the back is Connell. Connell overruns it. It goes to Marshall. Ellen went on to a lead and then stopped and Seckle with a good strong mark in front. That was great hands in the slippery conditions. So he goes out wide to Phillips. LePage is going to run on. Phillips has got his brother inside. He ignores him and instead goes in short to McKenzie, who's been in everything at the start of this quarter. This will be his 20th possession for the skipper. McKenzie holds up play. Bingham was on a long lead and he just ignored him. Armstrong now comes in for a lead. Bingham still on his own. McKenzie now goes in short to Weedy Phillips, who can run in. He's got Walden out wide on his own. He doesn't go that way. He's just struggling to work it into the forward line. So now he goes long into the direction of Gary Phillips, who comes over the top and just gives Belleville an absolute whack over the head and gives away the free kick. So nice build-up for not a lot of result. So over the top to Chincotta and Pletcher. Pletcher comes over the top and Dimatia has absolutely crunched Chincotta, who heads towards the boundary line. He's done his shoulder. He is struggling. Beautiful hip and shoulder there by Dimatia. Chincotta's still feeling that. So Pletcher up in the ruck. He gets it down. Connell limping. Armstrong tries for the shepherd. He goes back to Jeremy Ray. Jeremy Ray didn't look then. He goes... Oh, now Ray gets clear. He gets it inside to Orton, who's doing a lot of roving. Unfortunately, Orton kicks it off the side of his boot. He could have gone over the top to Walden, who's not happy with a few of his teammates at this stage, but encouragement's the key, Wal.
That's the thing. Constructive talk. That's what we want to see. So the ball driven back now to centre wing. Pletcher to contest. And a great mark, Bobby Pletcher. Looks to have hurt himself a little, though. Chips it wide, where Armstrong, under pressure. Chilcott comes over the top. Stops, props, loses his footing. It is, in fact, Verbeek. He goes back to O'Hara. He's caught by Walden. He goes back to Verbeek. And great pressure again by the Bloods. Lapper just lets them know about it. Belleville just giving him a little nudge. Lapper, a pretty big grin on his face. Enjoying it. Belleville drives through. Little flip wide to Barker. He can't quite get the footy. Now he's got it. Flips it inboard. It's taken there by Murray. Goes inboard and hands off to the skipper who's kicked the goal. Chincotta it was indeed. No, it is in fact the cheap Italian Riesling. Once again, Chincotta has raced in and kicked a goal. Now the Bloods, they've had most of the play, and with not being a very large lead, it's probably just a little test of their concentration now if they can answer that goal quickly and get their momentum going again in the right direction, Bill.
Yes, and the ball's out on Glen Huntley Road, and I don't know how many times we want to use the Buff and the Ute story, but there's a lot of money to be made in amateur football from lost balls on Glen Huntley Road. So Connell lining up on Murray, Armstrong and Belleville. Belleville's done a good job on Armstrong so far, although Armstrong's had 13 possessions at this stage. They've put Chilcott down to the forward line now at centre-half forward, and Constable's picking him up. Constable's been very solid. Noble's gone to centre-half back to play on Mark Seckle. Jeremy Ray picking up the speedy Marshall. So Orton wins one. Mackenzie knocks it on. Walden uses his body well. He's got to knock it off the ground. Ralph Smith was in there for the late shepherd, but hadn't let Wally know, and the ball goes out of bounds. So Weedy Phillips playing on Rogers on a wing. It's an interesting decision to have the 6'4" Rogers out on a wing. And now JD's on the ground. Pletcher hurt himself. JD picking up Chincotta. Seckle steals it out of the ruck, goes for the quick kick. Up in the air, Weedy Phillips has got the sit here. And Rogers. And Weedy Phillips has got space. There's 3-on-1. Weedy goes back inside. Oh, spun him round nicely. So Barker and Mackenzie and Phillips keep their feet, and Barker doesn't now. Gary Phillips goes inboard, looking for Walden, but he was caught behind. And Morgan takes the mark. So Hailebury 4-10-34 playing Mazenod 3-2-20. Jeremy Ray in late, as is with Mackenzie. Rogers takes a mark. Rogers chips over the top towards Marshall. Marshall's got Barker on, and well held up by Moray. So Murray. Yeah, well, that was silly. So Murray now comes back inside, and Jeremy Ray didn't pick that one. And Murray goes long in the direction of Noble and Darren Seckle. Darren Seckle punches over the top. So it must be Allen that's gone to centre-half back on Mark Seckle, and Noble's at full forward on Darren Seckle. Gary Phillips been picked up by Poland. Gary's been dominant in the first half. Walden and Verbeek. Verbeek's just snuck off on Walden now, and he's come out wide. Wally's only just picked him up. The ball's come in, and Seckle just punches it through. So Verbeek was on his own. Wally let him go. So Darren Seckle to kick in. Mazenod 3-3-21. Hailebury 4-10-34. Now, where's Seck's options? He's looking for Gary Phillips. Gary Phillips sprinting out towards camera at the moment. Now he's got Constable up the middle, which would be a very nice option. He's got good hands, but he's very close to O'Hara. He decides to go in the Constable direction with O'Hara. Constable gets crunched. Wilden picks it off beautifully. He goes out wide to the running Orton. Orton's picked up most of his possessions on the run today. And he goes in and finds Allen, who kicks out wide towards Rogers. Rogers and Wayne Phillips. Rogers comes back inside to Murray, who's got clear of David Connell. David Connell picks up the ball. He's got Darren Seckle inside. That's where he goes. Oh, and the umpire's come from a million miles away. Yeah, you obviously saw that. He's got his telescope out, Check.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, how the bloke can call that from this far away, it's just beyond me, Bill. Anyway, I'll shake myself out of my complete disbelief here and get back on with the call. Dimitia tries to burst his way through. The ball's wrapped up and will be balled up again. Hailebury under a little pressure at the moment. Just be interesting to see if the Bloods can break away here. Certainly wide open spaces down forward. So the ball goes back in the air. Orton was impeded in his run to the ball. Good tackle laid there by Moray. And the ball spills wide and LePage watches it over the boundary. So the ball comes back into play. Orton again to do the ruck work. It's over his head. Mickey Constable went for the big punch. JD goes in with the body. The ball's still wide. It was in fact Wheat Phillips. Comes to Bomber. Now he's under pressure. Almost had his head taken off. Gets it wide to Connell. Connell's dragged off the ball as well, and finally the free kick is played, and the Bloods a chance to just relieve the pressure here as Connell and Murray just reacquaint themselves with each other. Connell thought of going for the switch. Now chips in short to LePage. LePage can run on now and has had an idiotic shepherd paid against him. Now, I don't know where this umpire is coming from with that sort of decision.
Well, when I first started in amateur football, Martin Jackson was a very good C-grade umpire, and quite frankly, that's where he should have stayed. He doesn't mind copping one up. No, I can't say that, umpire. Oh, Noble's on his own. Sickle took his eyes off the ball, and the free kick was paid. Well, Sick was caught out of position then.
Sorry, Casey.
Well, he just can't keep out of the game, the young fella. So it'll be Noble. So Noble to line up to put Mazenod within 7 points of the Blooders. He runs in, Seckle standing the mark, and he's kicked it. So Mazenod get back within 7 points, and they go absolutely silly as all the Valiants on the hill toot their horns. So Haileyburi at the 13-minute mark of the third quarter, 4:10:34, Mazenod 4:3:27. We need a quick reply here. Phillips and Burns look very fired up in the middle. Phillips looks like he's going to do the crackers Keenan and run up and take it over the top, but here comes Orton. They nullify each other. It goes over the back. Weedy Phillips gets tackled by Pickering. Oh, comes out to Belville, who was running free. Dimatteo with the late attempt. Oh, good hand in by Seckle. Jeremy Ray will just push toward the boundary line and it'll be out of bounds. Very good hand in by Seck.
Certainly just when it was required, and Mazenod with a bit of a mini run on here. They've got it back to only 7 points. We discussed this, the dominance of the Bloods early and unable to make it show on the scoreboard, leaving Mazenod in there with a chance, and the Bloods really just need to rebuild at the moment. Jezza Ray tries to burst his way through. Good hands here, good hands again. McKenzie dragged off his kick. It goes to ground. It's slung wide by Barker. Murray, that might have been, kicking the ball back in. Bloods to contest. Two of them flying, no one on the ground. Belville with the hands out. Connell goes through hard. Jezza Ray back hard. They're going hard at the man, but not quite at the footy. The little chip inboard, and there's any number of Mazenod players there to raffle it. And it is number 32, W. Marshall, who will have the shot for goal from 28 metres out, directly in front to put Mazenod within a point, Bill.
McKenzie a little bit slow to get rid of the footy then. He had Phillips on for the handball, looking longer for a kick. No talk, telling him there was a bloke on his hammer. So Marshall lines up from 30 and slots it. So Mazenod back within a point. Haileyburi 4:10:34, Mazenod 5:3:33 at the 15-minute mark of the third quarter. They've kicked 3 goals this quarter. And Haileyburi just losing the ball out of the middle on that occasion. They really need to win one out of here. So here's the ruck contest. Orton. Nullified or Void Phillips goes in strong. The ball's just been tunnel ball. Weedy Phillips gets it out wide. Mark Seckle will pick it up. He's got to go the handball quickly. Rel Smith looks for the push in the back. Wasn't there. Barker spins out of the way of McKenzie. Off the ground by Rel Smith. Goes over the top. That was very lucky. Moray. He's got the run of the footy here. He lets it go. He's still got it. Barker still fighting for it. Burns picks it up. Burns, quick dummy. He's got Seckle out wide. There's a good talk. Seckle was screaming for it and he finds him. Now he's got Bingham one out. And Bingham takes the lead. There's no one in the square now. LePage calling for it long. You've really got to get in the square before the ruckman gets there. And now O'Hara drops into the spot. So Seckle, this is well within his range. He's kicking from 50. So the ball stays in play with a very nice spin. Comes over the top. Connell goes to meet Pickering. Pickering gets it over the top to Murray and the ball's out of bounds. Well, The Mazenod crowd absolutely fired up at the moment. So the ball comes in. Orton gets it down to Burns nicely. McKenzie gets a quick handball off. Was a very high tackle. Murray, Phillips on Murray. And it goes over the top to Marshall, who's coming back into the game, getting away from Jeremy Ray. Now Chilcott, Constable with a late tackle. Goes over the top towards Noble and Seckle. The ball bounces towards the boundary line and Seckle will see it out of bounds. No, it's still in play. Gets tripped. He goes backwards to out of bounds. And umpire Jackson says toss it in. Seck was looking for the push in the back and the trip wasn't to be. So Orton caught out of play here. Seckle will have to go up in the ruck. He doesn't. Constable comes in late. Ball goes over the back. Connell's wrapped up with a good tackle. Constable comes in. Weedy Phillips goes to kick it off the ground and kick it out of bounds. Hailebury looking a little bit tired at this stage.
They certainly are, Bill. They had all the run early on, but Mazenod's now starting to get to the contest in numbers. And you just feel the Bloods, they're just maybe stopping a little when they take a mark or get a free kick. They've got to move the ball on quickly, just keep their flowing style of game going as Orton clears the ball away from that little passage. Disco, a little flip over the back. Mazenod again with the numbers. Little chip inboard. Big contest coming up here. Hanley it is, chips the ball wide, and once again a Mazenod player absolutely unattended. And Darren Seckle able to mop up on the last line of defence. Good handball over the top to the running Connell. He's got a paddock here he can run in. Marshall stops, comes to meet him now. And Connell just runs around him like he wasn't even there. Pretty ordinary kick. Rowsmith almost equal to it. Flips the ball backwards. O'Hara it is. Phillips looks very tired. The ball stays inboard. Ballinger, the skipper. Little handball over the top. Rowsmith pushed on well. Gives it back. Orton, great hands. Blood's under pressure. The doctor's in there. He loses it, and it's over the boundary line.
Well, should have made a little bit more of that. Connell was clear out of defence. So Orton gets the front position. He gets it down in front, but Pickering's the only man down in front. Good smother by McKenzie. Bellinger picks it up. Jeremy Ray just dropped it. And Jeremy Ray, good tackle.
Dropped it, Cole.
All of a sudden, you just start to sense that Hailebury stopped running a little bit. Some of the blokes have just got to really lift. Armstrong gets up, looking a little ginger. Orton gets the knee in from O'Hara. Now Armstrong comes forward, and Phillips goes off the ground and unfortunately kicks it out of bounds on the full. So Murray will take the free kick. So Murray goes long. Seckle will come over the top and punch, and so does Gary Phillips. Burns picks it up. Burns kicks smothered, goes straight to Belleville. Belleville lays the quick dummy, gets around three of them. Oh, his luck goes to Chincotta. They've just got numbers running at it at the moment. So Chincotta, who's a beautiful kick, the 20-minute mark. Mazenod a point down. Chincotta lining up to go 5 points clear. Might be time to get some of the fresh legs on. O'Donnell and Pletcher are on the bench. There's Chincotta. He's just missed to the far side.
So scores level now here at Elsternwick Park as Bobby Pletcher prepares to come back onto the ground. And the Bloods, their first real test today. At the run of the game in the first half, as Darren Seckle has Matthew Armstrong out wide. Matty almost takes the chest mark, runs on, gets a little tap out to Gary Phillips. He's got the doctor coming past. Good hands to Rowsmith. Rowsmith can turn and swing the ball back inboard with a little chip to Walden. A great mark, Walden. Got to move the ball on quickly. The Bloods now, they got men running everywhere. He's got McKenzie making a little lead across into the forward pocket. Walden instead just goes long, where touched off the boot. It's play on. McKenzie in there loses his footing. The ball spills clear through Murray. Good hands in there. McKenzie again, ridden into the ground. The ball's flicked out wide, and now Mazenod able to clear as Belleville just backs up. Ballinger it is, sorry. He loses his footing. Orts can wrap him up. Orts does wrap him up. Orts is just about held. He stays over the ball. Wappy dragged out of the play, and in characteristic Wappy Armstrong fashion will get the free kick. Runs round onto his right. Goes in short, pretty ordinary free kick, and the Moose sees it over the boundary line, Bill.
Yes, Checkers. Scores all tied up here. Hailebury with 14 scoring shots to 9, however. So Mark Seckle up in front with O'Hara. Mark Seckle flicks it back. Phillips goes to pick it up. He fumbles it. Now Burns goes through. Get Wayne Phillips. Pickering holds it in there, and he's paid the push in the back to Wayne Phillips. So we're starting to get a couple back here. Weedy Phillips gets up quite gingerly as well. So Pickering standing the mark. Now he's got Moray on a quick lead. Oh, he nearly went for him. Now he's got Eddie Bingham on a long lead. Stop-start stuff isn't quite right. So he goes long. He goes long in the direction of... Oh, Gary Phillips rode an absolute mile. No, sorry, it was Walden, I think. Gary Phillips kicks it, chips it out short. And a good kick to Hanley. Oh, just a bit wide. Bounces out of bounds.
It was on the full. It was on the full.
Oh, out of bounds on the full.
Was, but they haven't paid it.
No, not paid. So the ball goes up. Orton goes to the front. Murray comes over the top. Pickering and Connell. Connell, beautiful stuff. Puts his body on the line again. So Orton again in the front spot. O'Hara takes it himself, however. Oh, good tackle by Armstrong. Orton, another handball. And now Belleville just steals it. He goes long. Pletcher. Beautiful mark by Bobby Pletcher, just back on the ground. Now, we've really got to move it. He's got LePage in short. That's the direction he goes. Over to LePage. And now the ball goes long. And Allen and Seckle. He flicks it back. Goes straight back to Moray. Moray goes over to Burns. Burns has got Bingham on a long lead. And that's where he goes. And finds Bingham. Good mark. Now, Bingham should move the ball quickly. He's going to be kicking from 40. This will be a good goal if you can kick it from here. It's a beautiful pass by Burns. Okay, so Eddie Bingham, he's running straight at the goals. He pumps it home. Eddie Bingham has kicked the goal. That was a magnificent kick. So at the 23 and 3/4 minute mark, Haileyburi go to 5-10-40, playing Mazenod 5-4-34.
Magnificent piece of the play that by the Bloods, and that might just be enough to steady them and get them moving the right way. Not long to go in this quarter. And I think the Bloods would just love another one. I don't know, Bill, just looks like there may be just a touch of breeze favouring the left-hand side of screen.
It's only a fraction. Now Richardson preparing to come back on the ground. Orton starting to win in the ruck. Burns steals clear. He's got Bingham on another lead. He instead goes to Mark Seckle, who can go in for an open goal. No, Burns can now go to the goals. He goes to McKenzie. McKenzie lines him up and has missed. Oh, the skipper. Could have covered yourself in glory.
Best passage of play for the game.
That was a great clearance out of the middle. So Morgan goes in short and finds Barker. Oh, he drops it. Crucial error. LePage knocks it forward. Good tackle by Bingham. Bingham off the ground. Good tackle again. It's called play on. Oh, the Haileyburians are fighting hard for it. Allen picks up the ball now and he goes short. Oh, there's three Mazenod blokes on to Dave Connell here. So he goes inside to Murray, who will go back to Hanley, I think that is over there, and he goes to Rogers. Rogers comes in long, and Pletcher will come over the back and take a solid. Oh, he fumbles, and Chincotta, good tackle by Pletcher. That was great second effort by Bobby Pletcher, but he really should take the mark. McKenzie coming off the ground, running out of legs, and Richardson will go back on for the last 5 minutes.
And I think it's the players who've had a bit of a rest on the bench that the Bloods are going to look for something from here. Seckle drives the ball in the Wheat Phillips direction. He's up trying to outdo his brother. And the mark has been paid to the man in front. Wayne Phillips can't believe it. Chips the ball back. So Mazenod again to drive into their forward line. Seckle and Dimity to contest. It comes down to Morey, sure hands. But the chip only goes as far as Murray. And 25 metres against Wayne Phillips by umpire, I'm a dickhead, Jackson.
Well, interesting, because umpire Bell was the man in charge of that passage of play, and Jackson ran in from 50 metres away and paid that. Very ordinary. So Josa comes on back onto the ground for Belleville. And it'll be Dave Murray, lining up for goal at the 26-minute mark. He'll be 30 metres out. No, he'll only be 25 when he kicks this. And he's kicked it. So Mazenod back within it's all tied up, sorry. 5:11:41 plays, 6:5:41. 26.5 minutes gone. Rogers just starting to get a little bit on top of the weed out there on the wing. It's a bit of a taller player. So Orton in the ruck with LePage, Moray and Burns. Richardson's gone onto a half-forward flank. Might be time for the blonde bombshell, Paddy O'Donnell, to come onto the ground and liven proceedings up. So LePage picks it off. He gets it clear. Rel Smith caught behind and Bellinger takes a good mark and he plays on quickly. He had Rogers out wide, who's been hanging out as the widest man on the ground all day. Oh, sorry, in this third quarter anyway. So he goes wide. Joser and Orton. Dimatia with a good shepherd and Jeremy Ray comes in. Jeremy Ray gets it off to Rel Smith. Rel Smith goes for the one hand. He's got to kick it off the ground and he misses. Game's really slowed down a fair bit. So Joe's a good tackle by Moray. Richardson tries to pick it up. He misses. Pickering gets a quick handball out to Dave Murray. Dave Murray goes up and Dimatia takes nearly a good mark. And Jeremy Ray picking off the crumbs. And he goes long in the direction of Walden. Walden keeps it down in front. Gary Phillips picks it off. Gary just made a crucial little fumble error and Poland just pounced on him and held it in there. So good tap by O'Hara to Murray. Murray out to Pickering. Pickering out wide to Dave Murray. And Dimatia leading the race for the ball. Punches it wide. Constable, Chilcott, Dimatia. Great tackle. Rogers kicks it in. He goes towards Noble. Seckle caught behind and it's out of bounds on the full. So it'll be Darren Seckle to bring the ball back into play. He's got Orton with his arm up a little wide. That's the direction he goes. O'Hara will come over the back with Phillips. Phillips over the back with a huge leap. Good pick up. Now Connell in front with Noble. Oh, Burns just goes straight at Noble. Good shepherd. And Rogers coming right into the game. Gary Phillips has got to go at him. Gary does so. He gets it back into Allen. Good tackle, nearly a good tackle by Seckle. Mark Seckle, another good tackle. Weedy Phillips now on Rogers. Misses him. Rogers on the left finds Joser on his own, but Constable comes over the top and punches out of bounds.
Crucial hand in there from Mickey Constable, and really the pressure is on out there at the moment. Both teams trying to break the other. Score's still level. It's just been an absolute slog out there, as O'Hara looks to be getting on top of a somewhat tiring Orton. Bursting through there is Nicky Moray, dispossessed. Mickey Constable gets the ball back, looks for the boundary. Where's Burns? Just can't quite find it. And Mickey with a timely hand in there again to once again find the boundary. Can only be seconds remaining in this quarter. Not a bad call that from me. I'm not even looking at a watch.
So 29 minutes and 38 seconds. Mazenod piled on 4 goals that quarter to Hailebury's 1. So it's 5:11:41 Hailebury. Mazenod 6:5:41. And even the commentators are getting a little bit tired. It was Will-I, Nil-I out there. Some pretty tough stuff, and Hailebury's looking very tired. They really need a bit of a lift. Last week in the last quarter, 2 weeks ago in the last quarter, they got the lift from the Phillips brothers, who have plenty of legs. That's when they threw O'Donnell into the ruck, but Orton's been doing a fantastic job. That was a great quarter by Orton. So maybe O'Donnell comes on as a ruck roving type, just round the ground. His defensive skills are fantastic. Jeremy Ray came into the game in the last quarter then. Hopefully he doesn't run out of legs. He hasn't played for 5 weeks. He's a fit man though. Richardson has only been on and off the ground. Constable doing some tough work down in defence. Dimatia came back into it that quarter a little bit, and Connell. The umpire waves all clear. And the commentators in their full commentating outfits here today. The sunnies, the cap, the prescription white T-shirts and the coat. We are the Blues Brothers. Thank you, Keith. Okay, statistical highlights. At this stage, Armstrong only 2 kicks and a handball that quarter, and he's had 10 and 3 for the game. Eddie Bingham's only had the 2 kicks. He's been a little bit quiet.
Certainly a telling goal, though, he kicked there late in that third quarter, Bill, just when the Bloods really needed one.
Yes, Eddie, it was a magnificent goal from 40 out. Burns has had 9 kicks, 4 handballs and 6 1%ers. Connell's had 7 and 3 and 4 1%ers. Constable 3 and 8 and 3 1%ers. And JD just the 1 kick and 2 handballs. Dimatia, a little bit quiet, but he's held the centre half forward very well. He's had 1 kick and 5 handballs. LePage 13 kicks and 4 handballs. Mackenzie's been magnificent. He's spent about 10 minutes on the bench because he's a tad tired. And he's had 10 kicks, 11 handballs and 9 1%ers. He's up for the triple double for mine. Moray with 10 and 4 and 4 1%ers. O'Donnell just the 1 and 1. He's only been on for 10 minutes. Orton's had 5 and 4 and he's had a lot of knockouts. He's really come back that quarter. Gary Phillips, 9 kicks, 8 handballs and 10 1%ers. Wayne Phillips, 13 kicks and 8 handballs, although Rogers seemed to get a little bit more on top of him that quarter. Pletcher with 13 and 1 with 4 1%ers. Jeremy Ray been a good inclusion. There's a lot of doubters about his fitness. He's had 8 kicks and 7 handballs. Rel Smith's had 8 and 5 and 13 1%ers. Richardson hasn't touched the ball at this stage. Seckles had 2 and 4 and he had 5 telling punches that quarter. That was Darren Seckles. Mark Seckles had 9 and 9 and 4 1%ers. Walden 8 kicks, 5 handballs, 6 1%ers. The ball's about to be bounced. Mark Seckles gone into the ruck. And Burns, Phillips and Moray are all in there. So O'Hara against Mark Seckles. And Seckle gets the ruck clear. Rel Smith coming through. He gets it back to Seckle. Seckle goes over the top to Burns. Good shepherd by Armstrong. Burns goes long and chips it into LePage. Was fantastic. LePage just holds himself up. He did that nicely. Wayne Phillips was leading hard as well. But that was a beautiful little chip in from Burns. And Burns and LePage, I don't know what sort of bloodlines there is. The fact that Lapper goes out with Burner's cousin. But geez, they find each other very nicely.
They certainly do combine about as well as the magical Cracker brothers of the late 80s down at North Melbourne. So LePage now with the most crucial kick of the match today. We've spoken about his silken skills. He runs in, ran too close to the man on the mark. He recovers, gets the handball out to Matty Armstrong. He snaps around the corner. The doctor charges. The doctor snaps over the shoulder. And the doctor says goal.
And wasn't that a great little goose step by the doctor when he kicked that? LePage got far too close to the man on the mark. He tried to drill it through, but geez, the JD, the doctor, he just did that brilliantly. Snapped it over the shoulder and kicked his first.
Now I just wonder if LePage, maybe having had a little look at the stat sheet at three-quarter time, Bill, if maybe he's trying to build on his touches, looking for the kick and the handball instead of just the kick.
Yes, well, that takes him on to 14 and 5. 19 possessions for the game has been a great effort. So Seckle, let's see if he can win another one out of the ruck. And he does, and he gets it straight down to Moray, just intercepted by Pickering nicely. Now, Gary Phillips gets a quick kick away. Walden comes in late, gives Verbeek one nicely. Verbeek, with a bit of experience, doesn't fall for that sort of sucker move. So Verbeek gets up. He's got Murray inside. So Murray in front of the 4 and 20 sign, his sponsor. He kicks it wide. And Jeremy Ray just sliding in. Armstrong, he dispossesses Marshall, and Jeremy Ray holds the ball in. So Hailebury 6-11-47 at the 2-minute mark of the final quarter. Mazenod 6-5-41.
And that's about the way I feel too, Bill, as the ball goes up now on the half-forward flank for Mazenod. Seckle rose high, couldn't get the ball down to one of his players. It goes wide. Connell contests. The ball spills towards the boundary. It's picked up by a Mazenod player. Looks inboard for Marshall, who has dropped what he should have taken. And the Bloods search desperately for the boundary line. Dimatia in there over the top of the ball and finally achieve their goal. Just to hold play up for a moment.
So O'Donnell and Orton and Mackenzie on the bench, all wrapped up in some dressing gowns, standing next to the coach Neville Taylor and his counterpart Gary March. So Murray flicks it back inboard to Barker. Barker's dispossessed. Connell now picks up. He's got Rel Smith in short. He goes back onto the left and Rel Smith goes at it, misses it. The ball comes clear. LePage misses it. Hanley picks it up. He goes short. Pletcher leading in the race for the ball. Need a nice bounce. He gets it now. Oh, he gets shoved in the back. No free kick. It goes wide out towards Phillips, who breaks free. Now he's got 5 metres. Chincotta right on his hammer. Phillips finds the boundary line nicely. And at the 3-minute mark, Hailebury still lead by 6 points as the Seagulls whiz across the front of the screen.
So the ball to be thrown back in on the true centre wing position. Disco comes striding in to do the ruck work, but he's left to Gary, who just climbs high. Walden bullocks through, goes without it. Moose gets the handball wide. Morey with a great tackle. Phillips with a quick kick round the corner. Ralph Smith tried desperately to make a contest there, and he's a very sore-looking man as he clambers to his feet. JD watches lane, the little chip in short to Murray. He's just picked up that cheap kick all day. Handball over the top to Pickering. Once again, they combine. He looks wide, and with a delightful kick has found the Italian Riesling Cincotta.
So Cincotta, as we've seen, it's a marvellous kick. He'll be kicking from 50. Pletcher scrubs the mark on the ground. So the call's just come from the coach to get Weed on the ball and Burner off the ball. Burner's just got cramp. So Cincotta with a marvellous kick into the square. Murray's over the back with Chilcott. That was Chilcott, in fact, and it's through for a point. So Mazenod at 6:6:42 plays Haileyburi 6:11:47 as the time clock says 4 minutes 15 into the final quarter. So Seckel, Mark Seckel is in short. He goes long to Gary Phillips, who's on his own. Oh, he goes high now. Armstrong fumbles it quickly. Now LePage is hot. Good tackle by Pickering. Pickering dives on it, as does Weed. And Haileyburi again with the chance and no talk. Good tackle. It's a ding-dong battle. So Mark Seckel now gets to the contest. And he's up high. And he gets it back to Weedy Phillips. Weedy Phillips goes long. Walden's got the good body position here and tries to take the Gary Ablett one-hander. He overruns it. Now Verbeek keeps his feet and he goes onto his right and kicks it wide out to Hanley, who's on his own. Armstrong chases him down. He goes back inside to Barker. Barker could run into goals here. He goes long into the direction of Allen, and good punch by Darren Seckel. Gets it over to Jeremy Ray, who goes off the ground, was good footy. Now Pickering and Armstrong in the race for the ball. Armstrong leads Pickering by a fraction. Armstrong just waited and tried to paddle it round. He goes back to Connell. Connell goes back towards the boundary line now. Armstrong in trouble. Connell gets a good handball wide to Moray. Moray's got a man on. No talk again. Hanley goes to the boundary line. Weedy Phillips goes over the top of him. It goes back to Murray. Weedy Phillips smothers us out of bounds.
Yeah, it's just typifying the desperation here. It's been a hard-fought grand final so far, and you just feel the team with a better will is going to win. The ball spills to the back of the pack.
Mackenzie back on for Burner, who kept cramping. Weedy Phillips gets it out to his brother Gary. Gary gets a quick kick in towards Rel Smith. Rogers, who's come right into the game. Rel Smith goes for the smother, misses, over to Lane. Lane's got a paddock now. There's no one chasing him. He goes long in the direction of Seckel, and Alan Seckel again with a good spoil. Pletcher should look for the boundary line and does against Cincotta. Good footy. So here comes the throw in. Mark Seckel will come over the top, punches it straight back down towards Pletcher. Eddie Bingham coming up the ground now, and Wally looks like he's going to go back to full forward. So Eddie Bingham up onto the half-forward flank. So at the 6.5 minute mark, the toss comes in. O'Hara's got clean possession. He gets it onto his left. Armstrong, they're all fighting for it. Oh, it spills clear to Hanley. Constable, magnificent smother. That was fantastic work by Mickey Constable.
Well, there's your 1%er of the week award. Mickey Constable again, just brilliance in there, throwing his body on the line. That's what the Bloods have got to do, and they've just got to keep running. They've only got another 25 minutes of running left as Seckel drives the ball straight up the ground to Connell. He's paid the free kick, fair enough too. Moose interfered with him. The hands off to Matty Armstrong is not allowed, and that is just absolutely ridiculous. Now the hands wide to... He just won't let him get rid of the footy, this umpire. He's an absolute idiot. Now he calls time back on. Connell looking for the option. He has Gary Phillips long. Ignores him. Just chips it in short to Armstrong. What a surprise. Connell to Armstrong. So Armstrong goes back, looking for the option. He's got Weed in short if he wants him. He goes long, straight to centre half forward. Rouse Smith. Great work, Rouse Smith. Little hand off to Morey. Morey straightens onto the right. Goes with the long bomb. Walden backs up, and over the top is a timely fist from Mazenod and out of play.
Morey went the torp, didn't quite come off. That was better. They ran the footy a bit more then. Bit of a shove in the back. Rel Smith, but it was a strong mark. So up we go. Phillips over the top. Oh, belly, belly, belly. I mean, he was just going for the footy and he got it. Now it's the same as what happened just at the other end there, and he's just said play on. So umpire's very inconsistent. Martin Jackson's had a shocking game. Rel Smith a little toe poke. JD, kick another goal, son, and make a hero of yourself. Oh. Well, that was very reminiscent of last week where Rel Smith kicked off the ground to Lapper running into an open goal.
He has been working his soccer skills during the week. So now the Bloods looking with the man-on-man defence to the kick-out. Wally, good pressure. It comes wide to Murray. He's under Lapper's hammer. Just sidesteps around him a little too easily. Armstrong 2-on-1. Got the front position. It spills wide to the Doctor. Sure hands. Got the little chip over the top back in the Armstrong direction and in the Bingham direction. So Eddie Bingham now with the ball. He'll go back. Steady play down. Now looks in long for Gary Phillips' direction, or the Walden direction. He's caught behind, and a strong mark taken back there by Josar. He looking now for the option. Walden stands the mark. Everything covered by the Bloods. He just goes the big long bomb. Rouse Smith with front position. Once again, 3 Bloods flying. As the ball spills towards the boundary line, and over it goes.
So Hailebury needing something inspirational here. Mark Seck will be up in the ruck. He's got Moray behind. If they could flick the ball backwards to Moray here, we would be home. Oh, he's gone out to Mackenzie and Pickering. Moray gets it now. He gets a quick left foot kick in. Walden's in front. Walden's got the set, and Walden takes the mark. So Wall needs to run at this one and kick straight through it. It's 9 minutes 40 gone. Hailebury leading by 5 points. 6-12, 48 to Mazenod, 6-7, 43. He's had a good think about this, Walt. Looks a little bit nervous as he runs in. He's run straight. It's a better run at the footy. And he's kicked straight through the ball and straight through the goals. And the King puts Hailebury 11 points ahead. 7-12-54 to Mazenod, 6-7, 43 at the 10-minute mark.
Just a little steadier there for the Bloods. Terrific work by Moray. The long clearing left foot kick from the pack. And Wally, where we need him, out in front of his man and took the mark, and with precision slotted it home. A great kick from the King. So Disco now, he's shown a lot of vigour and a lot of verve out there in the ruck, and once again he'll pound his body into O'Hara. The big leap, misses the footy. Richo in there, can't quite get the hands clear, and Belly calls for the ball as it will go back skywards. Good move this, Seckle into the ruck. Very athletic. Up he goes again, the big fist. Mackenzie looks to knock it on, as does Morey. Little kick wide. Mackenzie just can't quite hold the football, and once again it's wrapped up there and will again be balled skyward. Chris Reedy, your feelings at the moment?
I think the Bloods have got this one.
You've heard it here. The Bloods have got this one. Well, we shall see. As once again Belly prepares to propel the ball skyward. Disco again propels himself skyward. The ball's out clear. It just hit Gary Phillips in the head. He couldn't quite find the handle. A 2-on-1 out here. Rouse Smith gives chase, as does LePage. LePage with the big steps. LePage, great attempt. Rouse Smith almost wraps up his man. Chilcott in there. Richo's in there. Pickering keeps his feet. The little chip has found Hanley. Hanley runs on. No, it's Ellen, sorry. Goes in long. Seckle again. Great punch from Seckle. He's been impassable back there. Barker with the run of the ball. Close to the boundary. And a great diving smother from Jeremy Ray. The ball's still inboard. Ball still inside. Marshall streams into the open goal. Fires across the face. And that's out of bounds on the full. A big error there from Marshall.
That was actually Chin Cotta, the Italian Riesling. He tried the Nana and didn't come off, so Armstrong, as the helicopter comes in to get some overhead shots for our cameras here at Channel 7. So Armstrong with a long kick. He's looking in the direction of Mark Seckle and O'Hara. Mark Seckle behind. Lane picks it up. Another good smother by Mickey Constable. The ball's wrapped up. It comes clear now. Good attempted kick out, and Jeremy Ray takes a good mark. Now Dimatia's out wide here. And Dimmer runs the other way, so Jeremy predictably goes long, and Phillips over the back with a big leap. Jeez, he's got some spring on him. So O'Hara back inside the pole, and Dimatia leaves it. They all leave it. Chilcott misses it. Good hands. Pickering out wide to Chincotta. Chincotta back to Rogers. Rogers goes back on his left. LePage trying to chase him. He steadies on his left and goes long and through for a point. So Hailebury 7-12-54, leading Mazenod by 10 points, 6-8-44 at the 13-minute mark of the final quarter. Moray goes short into Mark Seckle. Mark Seckle goes long in the direction of Mackenzie and Ralph Smith. Ralph Smith comes crashing over the top. Mackenzie traps it nicely in front. He gets gang tackled. Barker goes to pick it up. Ralph Smith gives away a free kick. for holding the man off the ball. So it'll be Mark Murray, 60 metres out from goal. Noble makes a good lead. He ignores him. He instead goes for the long bomb, goes straight to Mark Seckel. Now, let's change the direction of this. No one's moving for Hailebury. We're just bombing it long. So Relsmith paid the mark, and he plays on. And he goes long, and Phillips has got the run here. He's just about 50, Poland. Come on, Gary, move it. Now Walden's on a lead. He instead goes long and wide to Armstrong. Armstrong gets it off to Richardson for his first kick for the day. Richardson, clever little kick into the spot. JD, he's up high. He recovers beautifully, the Doctor. He goes over the top. Oh, and Hanley just gets back there. Walden rides him into the ground. So Walden now comes back. So he's got Morgan short. He ignores that and he instead goes wide to Poland. Good spoil by Mackenzie. He goes over the top now with Murray. Now they've got heaps of space out here. Relsmith just clocks Murray one. Now Armstrong comes into it. He's got Barker, Richardson. We just can't lay our tackles. JD comes in late. It was a monster chase. And the mark's been taken out in the wing by Bellinger. And Jeremy Ray stands the mark. It's a good opportunity for Hailebury then. So now he plays on Bellinger. Jeremy Ray. They've got the numbers. Allen picks up the ball. He goes long in the direction of Seckel and Noble. Seckel's got to go the punch. He does. Now he recovers and gets a long kick away. There's only Murray there. Oh, great hit by LePage, but O'Hara picks the ball off, and now he goes wide to Chincotta and Rogers. And Constable just holds him up. He's got Chilcott. No, he's gone to Torp. He's got Mark Seckles. No, he's pushing the back, and he's paid it.
Not the spots we get in their free kicks.
So 16 minutes gone. Looks like Bingham's going to come off and Burns is going to come on. So Seckel goes wide to Gary Phillips and he's got Connell in support. Good work by Gary. Now Connell's just got to keep it in play and we're home. Holding the ball, he made no attempt. Oh, belly, that is shocking. He had a perfect view of that. Absolutely perfect view of that. So Richardson off. Only had the one kick for the day and Burns comes back on. He's got rid of the cramp. 16 and a half minutes gone. Mark Seckel, acrobatic. Moray just crunches through the pack with Jeremy Ray. And it's all bottled up.
Come on, Bug, ready back here.
So all the Mazenod boys on one side, all the Hailebury boys on the other. Seckel. Good tackle by Moray on Verbeek. O'Hara just flicks it out to Pickering, who weaves his way through a stack of traffic. Good interception by Mickey Constable. He picked that off very nicely. It was a great interception. So 17 minutes have gone. Hailebury still 10 points in front. I'd like to see another goal on the board. O'Hara with a good knock. Dimatia holds it in. Now Moray gets clear. He gets the handball away. Mark Seckel fumbles it. He goes off the ground now. So it goes wide to Barker. Good tackle by Wordy Phillips on Verbeek. Allen gets the kick in, avoids Connell's smother. And Constable in front. Now Jeremy Ray around the neck. Jeremy Ray breaks clear and goes towards the boundary line on the far side of the ground. The race for the ball. Marshall, Pletcher, Armstrong and the boundary. Who is going to win it? Not the boundary. Marshall picks it up. Bobby Pletcher. That was magnificent stuff. He had eyes on the ball then, Bobby.
Yeah, tremendous hard work again by Bobby. The Blood's been under pressure here for a while, but standing up to it brilliantly. Disco loses his footing. The ball comes clear. Another great tackle. Armstrong, a little chip round the corner, gathers another 20-25 metres as the ball again finds its way over the boundary. The Bloods just need to break clear from this, and if they can just score one more, you just get the feeling they may well be home. Ball back into play. Disco again to do the ruck work. Tap comes down, looked like Weedy Phillips with a quick kick in there. Once again, a scramble for possession. Another quick kick out by Armstrong. And the ball again over the boundary line, as I believe that's Ralph Smith, once again prostrate on the ground. Thrown his body into everything today.
Certainly has. He's been a magnificent performance by Ralph Smith. He's put his body on the line. So Seckle high over the top. He's got the leap at the moment over O'Hara. But Barker goes long. He goes wide to Murray. Murray quick kick avoids Jeremy Ray's smother. Gary Phillips under it and takes a strong grab. He's paid it. So Phillips, he's got LePage out this side wide. Instead he goes out towards Ralph Smith and Eddie Bingham. And he lays into the torp. And Mackenzie's out there also. Mackenzie comes in and picks it up again. Quick little handball. Now Mackenzie off the ground. Did well, but straight to Verbeek. Mackenzie gets shepherded off the ball. Bingham comes in late. The ball goes in towards Weedy Phillips, who ducked the head slightly, and the kick went off. Great smother by Moray. Moray now picks it up and gets a quick kick away, and now it's into space. Armstrong running onto it. Oh, he's overrun it. The good doctor worked in hard. Armstrong still here with Poland. Walden's wide. Walden could pick this up. Well, the good doctor streams through. He's got Bingham on his own in the square. He gets a push in the back. This is magnificent stuff by both sides. And Walden just misses him. And the ball out of bounds. Well, we had Bingham on his own. JD couldn't quite get it on the left. So Ralph Smith will go up in the ruck against O'Hara. Ralph Smith's got the front spot. O'Hara comes long and big punch. LePage looking, now they've got they should have picked that up. Bobby Pletcher. Oh, he just knocks it out of bounds. So 20 minutes exactly gone on the scoreboard. Hailebury 7-2, 54. Mazenod 6-8, 44. 10 points of difference. There's not going to be a lot of time on this quarter. Marshall's in the middle of the ground on his own. No one's picked him up. He's on his haunches. So Connell with a quick kick on the left. Goes in towards Ralph Smith and Bellinger. Mackenzie. Bingham. If he goes back to Ralph Smith, he goes over the top to Mackenzie. Mackenzie running into it. Mackenzie tries to pick it off. Walden and Poser, Joser and Wozer.
And once again the ball to be thrown back into play. Neville Taylor directs traffic, as does Gary March, as does Sean Ralph Smith. Desperate times here. The ball comes back into play. Eddie Bingham to do the ruck work. Nudged out of it. The ball spills cleared, and Disco flies high. Weedy Phillips in there. Oh man, all over the top of him. And I can't understand why that doesn't go one way or the other. So umpire Jackson to throw the ball skyward as Wayne Phillips hands in the ball. Disco, a fired up Disco. Jumps up hard into O'Hara. The ball comes down. Weed Phillips with a quick kick in. Wesley Burns with time. The centering kick will find the doctor! So the doctor can compose himself, and he will walk back and he will line up 25 metres out directly in front. He's shown great composure around goals all year, the doctor. It was a tremendous kick, centralising the ball from Wesley Burns. Doctor runs in now, the head's still over the ball, kicks through it, and has kicked the coffee! The good doctor!
Oh, the doctor! What an inspiration in the last quarter. He's come back on the ground, he's gone to the forward pocket, and he's kicked 2 goals for Hailebury in this last quarter. That was a magnificent spotting ball from Burns and a great weight on it, and the doctor took a diving mark and slotted it through, and didn't the crowd full of purple and black umbrellas behind the goals go silly. So Mark Seckle has been fantastic in this last quarter. He's got on top of O'Hara, he's jumped on top of him. Hailebury now leading by 16 points, 8-12-60 to Mazenod 6-8-44. 22 minutes and 15 seconds have gone. Bell throws the ball up, Seckle gets it down. The ball comes back into dispute. Ralph Smith punches it over the top, and Hanley leads in the race for the ball. He's got Chilcott with him. Armstrong gets past him. Armstrong needs to head to the boundary with a quick little toe poke off the ground. Armstrong fumbles at Chilcott, and Constable sees it over the boundary line along with Armstrong. Desperation, and more importantly, we've wasted another 20 seconds of footy. There can't be too much time on in this quarter. 25 minutes plus time on. There's only been the 3 goals kicked.
Ball back into play now, comes centrally. Big contest, great kick off the ground. It goes to Wesley Burns. Little chip. Eddie Bingham bats it down. Little handball, little give over the top to LePage. Uses the left, chips it in to the King. The King keeps his footing. Little kick off the ground. Skipper can't find the handle. The doctor's in there. Skipper again. Wally the King. Oh, goes off the ground again. Oh, my God, the King.
Well, his little soccer toe poke. 8:13.61 plays 6:8.44, and Tim Chegwin's had enough up here. He's going down to the boundary. He can feel a celebration coming on. So it'll be Barker to kick the ball back into play. He's looking for Murray. No, he's gone the other way now, and he's gone out towards Noble. Noble will have the sit with Ralph Smith. Ralph Smith goes the punch. Armstrong will see it over the boundary line. And Chris Reid, he's called it. He's called it's all over. It's all over out at VFL Park with Geelong 18-6-1-1-4 playing Richmond 6-4-40. But at this stage, it's 24 minutes gone in the final quarter of the B-grade grand final 1995. Hailebury leading by 17 points. Ralph Smith overruns it. Mackenzie gets a quick handball back to Burns. Burns goes inboard towards Bingham. It goes over the back towards Walden. Joe's, into the open goal goes Armstrong. And Armstrong's kicked it, and that is it. I will call it now. Beautifully roved by Armstrong. The Hailebury boys do the jig. Walden and JD embrace. So does Armstrong. Moray, Bingham, LePage. And on the ground on the far side of the ground there, Keith, is Ralph Smith. And geez, didn't he work hard? He picks himself up now. Hailebury go to 9:13.67, playing Mazenod 6:8.44. 24 minutes and 30 seconds have gone. Hailebury leading by 23 points. And when they've got into that forward line in this last 10 minutes, JD and Walden have just worked their asses off along with Mackenzie and keeping it there. So Mark Seckel up in the ruck again. He's battling Noble now. So Mark Seckel wins it. It goes long and over the top. Burns meets it. Burns gets it onto his right. He goes in towards the skipper, Mackenzie, who's battling hard. JD comes over the top. Eddie Bingham's got the run for the ball. He can handball it off to Armstrong if he wants him. Eddie Bingham instead goes himself. And Walden over the top. He punches it clear out of bounds. So 25-minute mark. Hailebury leading by 23 points. Horton's got a big smile on his face down on the boundary. O'Donnell looking on intently. Only his third senior game for the club. And Orton looks like he's going to come back on to enjoy the celebrations. JD goes hard at it. He's crunched his head down there and he holds the ball in. So it looks like they're going to take off. Who are they going to take off here? Because they want to let Orton have his last little run to celebrate on the ground. 25 and a half minutes gone. Bingham doing the ruck work. Mackenzie keeps it in. He's going to call that out of bounds on the full though. 25 minutes and 45 seconds. Murray to bring the ball back into play. So the clock keeps ticking. 26 minutes now gone. Up high with a big ride was Morgan. Now Verbeek gets it clear with David Murray. He gets it over towards Pletcher. Pletcher fumbles. Gary Phillips knocks it towards the boundary line. And the ball comes clear through Barker. Jeremy Ray running onto it. Darren Seckel will give him the shepherd. Jeremy Ray comes back now. He gets tackled. He gets it off to Dimatia. Dimatia tackled high by Allen. And there'll be a ball up by umpire Bell at the 26 minute and 30 second mark. Chegwin down on the boundary. Okay. So the ball comes clear to Mazenod. Barker goes over the top to Hanley. Hanley trick chip inside. Only finds Moray. Moray's played on now. He goes in short and only finds Noble for Mazenod. Noble comes long and wide and out towards Connell. Connell goes the punch and does so very well. Rogers picks the ball up. Good shepherd. Marshall gets the handball away towards Bellinger and Rogers. Rogers goes wide now. Connell will come through with Jeremy Ray. Off the ground by Ray. Seckel. Geez, they're tired, the boys. Ralph Smith goes to kick it off the ground. Rogers goes in hard. Ball flicks out wide to... Oh, great desperation by Jeremy Ray. And Ralph Smith picks himself up again. 27 and a half minute mark. There's a bit of niggle going on behind play. Hailebury 23 points up. There can't be too much left in this. So Seckel with a big punch wide, only straight down to Dave Murray. He goes bang inboard. Gary Phillips will come over the top and punch. No, he just chooses not to. Seckel. Constable actually wrestles. Phillips gets the handball towards the boundary. Verbeek keeps it in back to Constable. Constable goes to Seckel. Seckel goes back inboard and all he can find is Pickering. Pickering plays on. He knows time's against him. He goes over the top to Murray. Murray could run into the open goal but decides to go back and have a shot. And there's the siren and the Bloods have won it. The Bloods have won it. 9:13.67 to 6:8.44. Murray's taking his kick. I don't know why you'd even bother. And there it goes, he's had his shot and kicked a point. So the final score, Hailebury 9-13-67, playing Mazenod 6-9-45, a 22-point victory, and the Bloods go silly, and we are about to go silly, Keith.
Delirious scenes here at Elsternwick Park, 1995. We'll just listen to the theme song, I think. Nothing new to him. After-match comment from Chris McKenzie. How happy is he? Good on your son. So we'll see if we can catch up with someone else. What about Mark Seckel? Mark Seckel, we just had you for a moment. What a great last quarter. No, it was in the middle there. You're excellent.
No, it was everyone else that did it before me. I just helped along the way. It was all team effort.
Matty Armstrong. What's his feeling, mate?
Oh, mate, this is fantastic. It's one of the greatest days ever. Fucking fantastic. Here's the work.
We'll grab Gary Phillips. Gary.
Worked 10 years for this. My first one.
Well, congratulations, Gary. Wayne Phillips. Wayne Phillips, old Hailebury wingman.
Just about had it. I'm going off tonight.
Eddie Bingham, what do you think about that after working so hard? all season?
Absolutely magnificent. It's the best birthday present that I could receive. Tomorrow, big birthday, drinks. Bye for me, boys. Bye for me.
You've heard it around at Eddie's tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Coach of old Hailebury. We'll just try and get Neville here. He's just still celebrating. Neville, what do you think about that, mate?
Yeah, it was pretty useful. Cots, wasn't it?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Great last quarter.
Yeah, great courage. Thank you very much for that, Matthew. But yeah, it was a fantastic last quarter. Guys were great. Came back, had something to show the crowd, and yeah, great value for money.
And we're going off tonight, aren't we?
Certainly are. Might even go off myself.
Who else have we got? JD. I think kicked a couple of crucial goals in the last quarter.
Yeah, all right.
Really lifted the team.
They weren't bad.
Yeah. You'll enjoy that for the rest of your life. Paddy O'Donnell. Paddy, like to have a word?
Yeah, it was just a fantastic victory and happy to do my bit. Thank you.
Oh, they're grabbing the microphone now. Who haven't we got? Old Hailebury stalwart, Roger Paul.
Hello, Cots. How are you, mate?
How are you?
Oh,
what
good.
do you think about that?
Oh, it's fantastic. I'm at real guts. Good stuff. Fantastic.
Sensational.
Got the ice.
Bob, we just have you for a minute. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about that? Nice and hard and tough?
It's fucking sensational.
Yeah, did you get a few of them today?
No, I was told not to, and I did the right thing for once.
Discipline got us through?
Yeah, discipline all the way through.
You going to enjoy yourself tonight?
Don't be silly.
Well done, mate. Go on, your Cots.
Let's get over there.
No, let's go over
there. Hang on. Andrew, Wally, we just grab you for a little bit. Yeah. What do you think about that, mate?
Sensational.
Your third premiership?
Third.
Yeah.
And an extra 300. I gave him 3 goals in.
Oh, good stuff. Forever the punter at old Hailebury. Sean Rell-Smith. First year down at the club, first grand final, first premiership. What do you think about that?
Oh, fantastic. The boys are pretty happy. And what do? You just walk around till you get your medallions. Is that right?
How are your ribs, mate?
Shake of your hands. Oh, they're all right, mate.
Congratulations.
That's on the back there.
Hello, mate.
Nick, how are you?
Good, mate. Very happy, very relieved.
How many premierships is this now?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been counting, mate. But
is this the sweetest?
I reckon it probably would, but yeah, I thought we were in a bit of strife for 3/4 time, but the boys did really well, and it was just a great win. What do you reckon? China? You don't know?
Very impressed.
Thanks, boys.
We'll enjoy ourselves tonight.
Sure, we'll have a few.
I and Mike.
The old man enjoyed that one. The old man.
Got a couple more years in you yet?
I'm just going to try and chase a route tonight in the club rooms, and that'll just top.
Oh, if you don't mind.
We'll top my day off.
I think we'll wipe that one, mate. Reserves coach down at Old Haileyburian, assistant coach of the Ones. What do you think about that?
Oh, bloody fantastic. Just sensational.
Tremendous last quarter.
Oh, sensational. For the players, mate. Oh, yeah, the one for him. Yeah, for sure.
Were you boothie?
I guess a lot of the motivation behind this year has been for the company today. Our president influenced this pathway through here. That's what I had goal medallion, extra medallion. So Ross, Gary, and Wayne together to come on and receive the honour of the day. Number 18, great game today, Michael Constable. Number 26, Gary Phillips. Number 27, Jason Dan. Number 29, Matthew Timothea. Number 35, David LePage. Number 40, Wayne Phillips. Number 43, Rob Fletcher. Number 48, Peter O'Donnell. Now the officials, the key officials, two vice presidents of the club, John Connell. John Warnock, the other vice president. The secretary, Frank Interrigi. I'd like to call forward now the captain and the coach to receive their medallions. First of all, from David Burns, and then the Premiership Cup from David Burns as well. It's a great deal of pleasure to introduce the captain, Chris McKenzie, number 4.
Give him the cup.
Well, I won't keep you long. First of all, to Mazenod, commiserations. And I think the club has shown a fantastic performance. Only entered the competition in 1989. Here in 1995, they've made it to A grade. Now, though you didn't win, it's still a fantastic year, and commiserations, but congratulations on a great year. Today I think Haileyburians proved themselves the best side in B grade for this year. It was a terrific game in fairly trying conditions. I think it was tight right to the end, and I think everyone connected with the club should be congratulated. It was a great pleasure that I'd like to present you with the cup.
Mazenod for another terrific contest. Once again, it was a great game of footy. I just think our win today just typified our efforts all year. There's a lot of people that need to be thanked. There's probably too many to go right into it, but everybody involved with our club this year, just a fantastic effort, especially the bloke standing on the left. He's just been fantastic for us, and it's going to go right off tonight down at the kid.
If I can only reinforce what Matt said about Mazenod, fantastic. The game we had against them, we were their competitors. I congratulate them on advancing to A in the contest there. To the people here, who players are just a sensation. Not only the 21 that played today, just the whole club. Fantastic. The officials that came down and supported day on. And I guess, Papa Doyle was here for 3 quarters and knows that we had a pretty good result. Probably a guy that I spent a lot Kim Phillips, Jill and family, I'm sure they'll take enormous pride because he'll be put a smile on. And any of this one was for you. Thanks very much.
Thank you everybody for being part of the ceremony. It's been great. It's been ordinary. Hope that a lot of you come back tomorrow for the A section game. Thank you everybody.
Vegas, champ, secretary.
Make sure Ralphie's in it. It's not yeah! Take the photo! Yeah!
Hold it, hold it, hold it.
There we go. Oh, Bloodos. Show them my Bloodos! We're going to Disneyland, boys! Just one to me. It'll be louder in here. Let's get the supporters in here. All just going to give us a pull. Wait down the arc there. Wait for it. Yeah! Brandon! Tell them how it is.
And the big question today, Tim, is Murray. Who the fuck is Murray? Welcome down to the Marine. We are post-celebratory down here. The boys have won the flag. And Timmy, it was fucking huge.
It was bigger than Texas. And a lot of controversy created this morning by certain comments on the Radio 3UZ. The Good Sports, the VAFA wrap-up, when Murray from Mazenod aired his dirty laundry on the radio, on the airwaves. And a lot of us, Bill, we just didn't appreciate it.
No, I don't know where the hell Murray came from, but he really hoed into young Walden and Connell, telling us that they should be in jail and locked up. And quite frankly, Connell got straight back on the phone and really had a fair dinkum going. For half an hour, it was just non-stop action on 88.3 Southern FM.
It was more of a nip and tuck battle than that third quarter yesterday, Bill, but I'll tell you what, as we kick back here in the Marine, what a wonderful sight it is. The beer is flowing like water. A look around the room, there's a lot of smiling faces round, and not too many of them without a beer too far away.
And we have a coup very early on Sunday footy. Greg Anderson's going to join us in the box. Can Greg just pop over here now? Greg, here he comes, Gregory Anderson. Just pull up a pew, Greg, and I don't know. There's a great rumour going around at the moment that the coach's house has been robbed overnight. It's been cleaned out. And Wes Burns joins us as well. And Boothman and Anderson went missing between 11 and 1, and the coach's house has been knocked over. Any truth in that rumour, Gregory?
None. Deny all rumours. Denied.
Well, Greg, how do you explain the raffle of the video and the TV a little earlier on here in the public bar of the Marine?
Actually, it was a good prize got raised.
And interesting to see you dancing on the dance floor last night. How were those jugs?
Yeah, good, pretty good.
Divorce.
And from personal experience, I can say they're a bit of a novelty. But enough of that for now. We'll get back to that later. You know, we might just have a little bit of a wander around the room now and have a chat to a few people. And I think there's one man we should really start off with. He only needs one word of introduction. Wesley Burns, premiership player, best and fairest. Wesley still hasn't changed since yesterday's game. And Wesley, what were your thoughts on yesterday's game?
Oh, fucking great, man. Fucking great.
Now, where's a couple of illegal substances might have graced your blood system last night, and we're just wondering what actually was, what was that smoke you were smoking?
That's grass, man.
Magnificent stuff. Wesley Burns stone off his tits as per usual. And this is just great.
And we wander around this way, Keith. We head over. Trav. Morning.
Morning.
Michael Constable.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Lovely
to see you all here today.
And how are you going on the pool table here?
Just had a scorching win against, well, not really quality opposition, but better luck next time, Trav, all right? Just out of
Hey, where the commentary?
Do you write the book of love and do you have faith in God?
James, we just want to interview the barman. He's a fantastic fella. Can you just get off the
Mr. Joshua!
Get away, Connell. There he goes, James, better known as Carl Langdon, a former premiership player with the West Coast Eagles. Carl, how are you?
Yeah, it was a pity we missed the finals this year, but as long as you keep necking them all day, boys, and look after us, we'll love you.
Yep. Now, look, Carl, you're a lot shorter than I thought you would have been. How can you explain that?
The boys tied me up at the end of the year, and they just squashed me back down. They had to stretch me out at the start of the season.
Well, look, we don't really want to know about your sex life, so we'll just move on to someone else. So we move over in the jukebox direction because there's no one there. We were just thinking of a little bit of karaoke, but we might just carry on now. We'll want over here, and Brett Steenholt dressed up for the occasion. Brett, we'd just like to, we'd like to know, Keith, if you can just pan down here and get a good look at what he's wearing. Brett, what is the phone number of your tailor? Brett, once again, we're not much to say, and that's what Ben's been telling me lately. He hasn't had too much to say down there.
If you want over here to the pinball machine, we've got JD, who hasn't even been to sleep yet. JD rocked home from Jake's at 7. He led the boys home. A couple of signs went missing on the way. The police have been called to the Church Street residence. And JD, you don't need any sleep.
No, don't need sleep. Sleep's for the dead.
As the great doctor once said to me, he'll get enough sleep when he dies. We'll wander over here to the where all the majority of the frivolity is going on. And I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. As we want to pass young Jono, kneecap still intact. Jono, how are you?
Very well, and yourself?
We're not too bad, and enjoying the celebrations.
It's fantastic.
We'll just have a quick look here at the Duck shirt, just epitomising what's been going on this morning. And Murray, who the fuck is Murray? And we carry on now to Shawnee O'Grady. Shawnee O'Grady was one of the great performances last night. At 6 o'clock this morning, he got on the breathalyzer at Jake's and he blew Jim and your mum. Just listen to this. Shawnee blew point 3, 2, 1. Fantastic effort.
Yeah, no, it's not too bad. Not too bad.
And and the sign that epitomises Shawnee, the first pull. And now, that beard you're growing, Shawnee, I'm a bit concerned.
Just thought I'd give it a go. Something different.
Yeah, he's a tough young man, Shawnee O'Grady. What was your favourite drink last night?
Bourbon and Coke.
Bourbon and Coke with WWW Roger Gurney. So we head over here to Little Loopy.
Welcome the Petersons. And what a couple of little sex kittens they are. It is their last hurrah. Tracy's trying to tell her she has no voice, but I believe she has. Tracy, how do you feel?
Actually, I really can't comment. I haven't got a voice.
Just doing a Gabe Connell there, pretending she hasn't got a voice. And actually, speaking about Gabe Connell, we've been lucky today. We've been graced with Lizzie from Prisoner, and here she is. Doreen, can you give us a few bars of it's different from the inside looking out?
On the inside, the sun don't shine, and the rain falls down. The sun and rain are prisoners. I don't get much of an opportunity. You know.
Now, unfortunately, all these girls here are on the out because we have found some fantastic U-under-19 girls from last night. Charlie was just fantastic. And these girls are out ski. That is it. They've had their reign at Old Haileybur. They've been here for 8 or 9 years, and quite frankly, we've had enough of them, and they are out of here because we've got some beautiful new young girls, Tim.
Well, this is true, and I believe you could almost say, if I wasn't going to get my head smashed in by the pair of them, if you haven't been through them, you haven't been to Old Haileybur. Now, one over here, we have P. O'Donnell, the Irish experiment himself, with the cup still firmly in tow. Now, Paddy, we've heard a rumour you've had the cup surgically attached to your hand. Is there any truth to that?
Well, no, the cup has not been attached to the hand. It's the hand has been attached to the cup, I think. That would probably be the better option for the word.
Paddy, once again, making no fucking sense whatsoever.
He's Irish.
Jeremy Ray, one of the late inclusions to the side. A wonderful year, Jeremy. You topped it off yesterday. You had a great game. And now, sitting back, enjoying a couple of sips, a bit of the special soup, the premiership cap on the back of your head. How do you feel?
Well, it has been quite a momentous occasion for some of us older generation folks. Myself...
Jeremy, this is supposed to be comedy, all right? So don't be too serious.
Oh, it's just fucking fantastic.
Thanks a lot, Jez. If we wander over here, we've got the skipper, one of the finest cricketers ever to play football at Old Haileybur, in deep conversation with him. Fraser, skipper, Shunai, have you got a special at Cranbourne or Pakenham on Tuesday?
Race 5, number 4.
The Nat Bet, you've heard it here. Now, skipper, it's a great moment for yourself personally and for the club, and just your thoughts at present. You've had a couple, you're enjoying life. What's the feeling?
It just doesn't get much better than this, Cheggers.
Well, we had the sign there for a while, but it's gone missing, and what a shame it is.
I've got dual premiership player Fraser Main standing here with us.
As a dual premiership player, Fraser, you've been through the celebrations before. How does it feel to be involved in one when you haven't actually played the game?
Absolutely fantastic for the boys, and an incentive to pull the boots on after 3 years of retirement to come back and win an A-grade flag on this day in 12 months' time.
Mind you, Fraser retired as a 20-year-old.
That's right.
As a dual premiership player.
One of the youngest players ever to retire, and what great news that could be for Old Haileybur. Fraser Main to re-don the leather as I go to my fellow commentator, Bill.
Yes, well, we're back here over here to Jeremy Ray. Now, Jez, just a quick question about last night. How did you perform with your girlfriend after the celebrations?
Well, obviously, after a grand final win, really I had no performance whatsoever, and I really couldn't get it up, and this morning was much better, I've got to tell you.
Fantastic performance by Jez, and David Shonnell over here in the corner. He's not having the microphone because he hogs it. Okay, David.
He's my brother.
She's my sister. G'day, Keith, how are you?
Actually, twins, actually. Oh, so I'll say.
All I want to say is, Murray, who the fuck is Murray?
Jeez, that fucking went down like...
No, that's...
Sucking with the rad back.
No, it's a fade out, Keith, a fade out.
Scope!
Winners, hey, show me a good loser, Keith, and I'll show you a fucking loser.
Winners are grinners.
Let's go to Dean Foster.
Once again, David Connell going down like Divine Brand with a fiver in the back pocket. Anyway, we'll wander over here to the aerial exponent himself, Mr. Frequent Flyer Points. Mr. Amateur Pilot, Mr. You need a parachute when you play football, Gary Phillips.
Good to be here, Checkers.
It is wonderful to be here, Gary, and there were rumours you were in hospital last night suffering altitude sickness. Now, any truth to that?
No, I just had the stomach pumped and back into it today.
Well, that is the key. Obviously, Gary, a former... No, actually, this is your first premiership.
Yep, number one, first one.
And great to see the man's read the handbook, and he knows you need your stomach pumped on Sunday morning just to be able to butter up again.
Gary, can you just run me through the 7-Eleven incident last night that the police have been ringing up about?
7-Eleven, well, the big O likes his tomato sauce and just got the sauce and just squirted it all over the floor. The lady behind the counter just chased him out of the store and asked him what he was doing, and he just said, I'm just about to eat my spicy chicken roll. She said, what about the sauce? And he said, I'm just about to eat my spicy chicken roll. So, and could be a crime stopper.
No truth in the rumour that she was a lovely little Asian girl?
Yeah, just the right size.
And what were you and your brother saying?
Yeah, the call did go out back in your boat, but we got the hell out of there before the cops came around.
Orton, renowned for those sort of activities. Unfortunately, last time we didn't see him eating a pot.
No, we didn't see him eating a pot, but he is a known floor polisher of 7-Elevens. He was running around the 7-Eleven looking for a floor polisher, but no such luck.
Okay, now we got Dean Fossey over here, who at the start of this morning he said, no way, I'm not going to drink today, and he's on to his 14th bourbon and coke.
Indeed, Billy. Indeed.
Now the under-19 situation next year will be a fantastic year.
Oh yeah, the super coach Billy Baxter done very well with his recruiting.
Yes, and he slipped me 50 before this interview, and could well be the skipper next year. Fantastic.
And talking about that 50, Billy, where the fuck is it? We'd like to see it on the bar. And there it is. Anyway, I think we've interviewed just about everyone at the moment, apart from a certain man they like to call the King. He's been trying to pick the scabs from the stop marks on the top of his head from that Gary Phillips mark. Bit of blood pouring down the man's face. We'll just wander over right now and have a quick word with him. Gabe Connell once again. Oh, we've got Naked Sunday happening. Undie Sunday.
It doesn't get any better.
I'll just barge in front of the camera. And there it is. The great man's great legs. As we wander over now. While he's trying to claim ownership of Ben. So we're gonna interview them as a pair. Now, Ben, you look absolutely delightful. Andrew, you look like a premiership player. And a bit of a puddle there on the floor, but anyway. the second Wesley Bears just struts through camera. Andrew, your feelings at the moment? Actually, we have the machine as well. We haven't had...
I said it's like that movie that was put out a couple of years ago.
Hang on, wait. King, start again.
I said it's like that movie, that video that was put out a couple of years ago, The King and the Man. Kingston Town and Manikato. I'm the king, and we've got Manikato here.
And I'm the man.
But I think Manikato might have had a bit bigger heart than this bloke here.
Oh, you dog.
Now, Machine, we all know about the yeast thing, that you just cannot drink beer. So can we ask what you're actually supping on there at the moment?
We're on the vodka and orange, mate, because the vodka hasn't got a yeast extract, although I'm still feeling shit house from last night anyway, so it doesn't matter what I was on, I was going to be feeling dreadful anyway. So.
Wonderful to see from the machine, a man we all feel for. How the fuck can you be allergic to this stuff? It's beyond me.
Might as well be allergic to oxygen.
Every time he goes out and gets pissed, it costs him $200.
Costs him $200 as he has to go and see a specialist on the Monday morning, because what is this rash? Now, there are rumours, to use my favourite term, rumours rife. the Murray, we don't know who Murray from Mazenod is.
Oh, we don't know.
But there are rumours rife that the blood infection you incurred last week was in fact alcohol induced. Any truth to that? machine.
That cannot be true. I think that ultrasound we've got down the footy club is fucking dreadful and should be quarantined. And anyone goes near it should be fucking shot because they won't have a leg if they go near it. Stay away from it.
Now, there are also, and you know, Mr. Connell and Mr. Warnock may be a little nervous about this, but we have heard that the machine has engaged the services of one QC Galbraith to handle his public liability suit. Galbraith, that's the man. Thank you, King. Galbraith's that bloke with the bloody wingnut head. But you have engaged the services of one QC Galbraith in order to handle your public suit, and we believe you are after $1.5 million from the old Hailebury Football Club.
Oh, I'll say it's in the vicinity of $1 million to $2 million.